Am I the first one here?
Yeah, and it is going live, but it literally just went live. What up, girl?
Nothing.
Is it lagging? Am I lagging at all with you, or do I seem all right?
No, I'm just trying to get everything adjusted. But since we're live,
What did I put? Hold on. Oh, here's Hex. I gotta grab a hair tie. I thought I brought some in here. Hex, Susie. Susie, meet Hex.
What's up?
Today will be fun and interesting.
Oh yeah.
Who knows how many adventures we may go on with people.
don't know.
How's your week been, Susie?
It's been all right.
I'll be right back.
Other than the reality of life, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely forced us to, kind of push through some of our plans a little faster. Just to make sure. I was like, I feel like we just really have to get everything done that we want to do this year because we may not have the opportunity to do it later. So
Why is it getting worse? Why does it have to keep getting worse?
because it has to burn down before we can build it back better again.
That's true. Good Lord. Hey, everyone in the chat. Hey, O'Donnell. I'm doing the shoe background now because he's like, you'll get more chicks if you do the shoe background, and then you'll red pill them. And I was like, oh, that was smart. That was a smart thing to say.
I think I'm doing it wrong.
I know. I had my flags up too. I'm like, I'll switch it up. I saw my flags like just scooted over. So, oh Lordy, how's Bob doing?
Oh, he's great. He's right here. Come here, Bob. Say
Yeah,
hi.
Bob.
There
Yeah,
he is.
blood.
There's Bob. See, he's real.
He's a good boy. He loves his mommy too, doesn't he? Because his mommy takes such good
chewed
care
one of my
him.
shoes though. I have 2 pairs of heels, and he chewed the heel off of one of them. I was like, "You son of a bitch," because he hasn't really chewed any of our stuff since the first few months we had him when we were still kind of trying to get used to him in the house, and he had to learn what he could and couldn't chew. And
right.
Yeah, so it was a little surprising.
Well, maybe you wonder if he just wanted your attention for some reason or something.
I don't know. He's a big baby. He whines all the time.
He's nervous too, maybe.
I don't know. I'm like, you're 90 pounds. Quit being such a bitch. Like, you're supposed to protect me. It's not my job to protect you.
What we were talking about earlier about burning it all down. I don't know who the fuck's doing it or why, but
before they fuse with machines, I don't know if they'll. Well, I mean, I'm sure they're working towards fusing us with machines, but I think the first thing is they're trying to replace us with machines because you need less people to run the machine. I mean, to run machines, you do people. So if you can have one person that their whole job is just to repair and maintain 20 whatever. Fuck, I lost the word. Sorry.
Machines?
Not machine. No, like when they automate things. I guess it would be machines, yeah. But like, what is it? There's like a large chunk of McDonald's and shit that's like fully automated. Like I've seen videos and stuff like where they do the fries. Like all you need is somebody just to load the fries, and then it does the rest of the process. So you need a lot less people with that. And then now that everybody's checking themselves out, since we all work there apparently.
And they don't want to be sharing their resources with us plebs. So the less of us that they can have around, then the better.
I don't even know what we're allowed to say on here. So
we'll find out. Eventually it does clone over to Odyssey. So it'll always be there and whatever. Okay.
So it's not a big deal if we get you kicked off of YouTube.
I'm not monetized yet. So I'm like hoping.
Whatever. Fuck you, YouTube.
Oh, Justin got all pink starburst. Hex, how was your week?
Same old. Just normal, I guess.
Just normal.
As normal as it can be.
Yeah.
You went shooting yesterday. You and your sis.
Did. Yep.
Your other sis, not me, but
Yeah. One of the 4 that I already had.
yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments. I am stoned to the bone, so FYI.
Well,
Oh,
my
boy.
edibles are probably going to kick in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So this might get a little interesting.
I know. I'm so excited for D. I'm like, I have so many questions for her.
I want to talk about conspiracy theories. I'm
Hell
excited
yeah.
about that.
We're going to do some deep diving
Hey,
and
and
shit.
if I'm stoned, I might come up with a new one because I usually come up with them when I'm stoned. So we'll see what happens.
I saw a new one. Did you see the one? I forget who it was some weird looking CNN lady was like, oh, they installed Trump. So it was like basically saying that everything that's happening in Russia and Ukraine is because Trump was installed and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, are you like literally it's a conspiracy theory?
These people
Rent
are
free.
so pathetic. Yeah, I mean, it's just stop with Trump. No, but I mean, I don't even like Trump. Like, come on, like, stop. You're trying to use him as an excuse because you're scared of the reality, and they're all a bunch of fucking ostriches.
That's wild. And like, it looked like this girl's being held against her will, kind of. She didn't look healthy. Like she's just saying this stuff, which I'm like, that's a possibility too. That a lot of these people like feel like they're forced to like, I don't know, do this to stay in the club.
Well, exactly. I mean, after the
Vulgar display of power. Hey, Susie.
hey, what's up? Who is that? I mean, he's a Pantera fan, but I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I caught that reference too.
I don't know. Oh, I'll be right back.
All right.
Give me a second. I don't fall over everything.
That's how this show goes, isn't it, Hex? It's just a wild ride.
Yep.
It's TYR from Germany, I believe.
Oh, hi, honey.
You said that's so sweet.
Well,
all our internet friends are our little honeys, aren't they, though? Like, Hex is my honey. I was thinking, Hex, it'll be so fun to hug you because you're so fucking tall. It's gonna be crazy.
I can't wait for that. I'm 6'8".
Holy monkey.
Oh, love it. Oh, JVP is in the chat.
I told him if he wants to come on, he can. Just send him a link. So I'll leave that up to him, though.
I'll just send. I have to send it to a couple other people too. We're gonna push the limits today, and so far my internet seems to be doing okay, right? Not lagging.
Nope. You are clear as day, as it should be.
Yeah, and this is the tablet, so I don't like the camera. It's a little too realistic. I'm like, no. I like it a little fuzzy, okay? Like, you can see my eye. Although I drank too much the last 2 weeks.
I'm using DSLR, so you can't get much more realistic than I can.
It's hot.
No, I'm on my iPhone because I don't invest in anything for streaming.
It's all good.
I did get a light, though. I have a ring light now because I'm super fancy and spent $15 whole on it.
So that's a good deal.
I should invest
change
in
this
one
color.
of those.
It's kind of fun. Real nice. Got it at Target. It was on sale.
Nice.
You're already putting it to use. Okay. We got Force Molly. Finally on my lower in person. Teach buffer tube. Hex will like that too. Nice. Everyone's getting stuff. It's gun stuff. Hex has been.
Well, I know that, but I don't really pay attention that much to gun stuff. Like that's my.
I don't know enough. I just know they go pew pew, and that feels good to shoot them.
I know how to use mine, and I'm sure I could figure out a few others.
We went gun crazy the other night on the other live stream. Holy crap! Hex looking fine as fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, O'Donnell saying he has the best hugs. All right. Well, prove it. To prove that.
I'll hold you to that, O'Donnell.
Are you guys going to Pork Fest or anything like that this year?
I'm
What's
thinking
that?
about it.
Pork Fest is in New Hampshire. It's basically like family camp and a big camp meetup for like all sorts of like libertarian people.
Oh, I can't leave the house for that long.
Okay.
So that's the problem when you homestead is
Yeah,
you
no,
things
you have
that need taking care of.
you can't vacation once you get animals and stuff.
No, we'll go camping, kind of around here. I won't go more than like 45 minutes from home, maybe. Just because I have to come back at least. Like my neighbor can go collect my eggs, and I could probably skip a day, but I still have to come back every other day.
Right.
'Cause I don't
Welcome,
trust anybody.
Hello, thank you so much for
New
having me,
Challenger
guys.
appears. It's Rothbardian.
Hello, I am
There
in my
goes the
makeup-free
neighborhood.
glory.
Does
What?
everybody know everybody?
Actually, don't know Susie. It's nice to meet
We
you,
interact
Susie.
on Twitter.
Ah, okay, cool.
I eat steak.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
eat steak.
That's me.
Eat
Yeah.
band steak.
Well, I am. I'm at
Yeah.
Eat Band Steak now because my other account got yeeted. And I don't know why. They didn't tell me.
Oh no.
So I think I got snagged up in one of those
Mass banning.
there's one of those groups that like there's groups on Twitter and stuff that'll try to find like Liberty accounts and they'll just mass report them for shit. And so then they'll just eat you. And I think I got snagged by one of them because I probably commented on somebody they simped for. So
When I got banned, they cited hateful conduct, but didn't point to a specific tweet. So,
oh no, they didn't tell me anything, and I was like, well, there's nothing to appeal. So
Right.
what am I supposed to do?
how am I supposed to appeal if you won't even tell me where I fucked up? So
Yeah, exactly. Because I've deleted tweets before just so I can get back in or whatever, but I'll screenshot the tweet and then I'll post it anyway.
I've kind of been amazed that I have been only like in Twitter jail once. I feel like I'm
Really?
unhinged on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
she's only-
surprised by that. Actually,
she goes hardcore. She goes
Yeah.
hardcore. So.
But I guess I never say any of the catchable words or something. Maybe like the only time I've ever gotten in trouble was when I asked for gummy dicks to be sent to Masha Rothbardian at like 666 Boston Road, number 1488 at Boston MA 69420. Like that was the only time I ever got it was the only time I ever got a Twitter timeout because it was like, oh, you're like reporting personal information, but that's been the only time.
how long was that? A 12-hour or a week?
Yeah, it was just a 12-hour ban.
Okay.
I caught 7 days for calling somebody a pansy one time.
Oh wow.
I was like, I didn't even realize pansy was that bad of a word, but okay.
Yeah.
He probably
I don't
reported
know.
you, but then if that's the case, he just proved your point that he is such a fucking pansy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I really don't like having to tell men to sack
Alice
up on
in the
internet.
chat. She's never done Twitter
Alice.
jail. What up, Alice? Alice is an Ohioan. She's awesome.
I don't
Yeah,
even
she's
have
actually
Facebook.
not far from me.
We got to get all those Ohio ladies to set you up with what some of their single friends, Hex. I feel like there's a ton of women out there.
Why are there so many people from Ohio? That's what I want to know.
It's a big ass group y'all out there.
Oh yeah.
So how's everybody's Sunday going?
So far, so good.
Just chilling. I went to bed early, so I woke up early,
Nice.
and I wasn't really sure what to do with myself at 8 a.m.
Woke up late, so there's that.
Yeah.
I woke up normalish. I spent the last 2 mornings hungover, and I was like, I'm not doing nothing last night, so I woke up refreshed. I don't look refreshed, but I'm refreshed.
Well, I woke up again.
How's your job going, Birdie?
Good. I've been much happier. Like I like props to the people that can work from home and props to the people that can sit at their desk and, like if you're good at it and you like it, that's great. I just kind of snapped and realized like I can't keep sitting at my desk. And I was kind of in this mindset of like, I will apply for literally anything. I'm just so ready to shoot my brains out into my keyboard. And now I'm really happy with what I'm doing. Like I'm like getting better at it. I'm getting more efficient. I feel like I basically have relearned how to drive again, you know. So the last time I drove was in like 2015. And
Whoa.
now I drive a giant van full of dogs through the city of Boston, you know. And, you know, just getting more assertive with the dogs and getting better at what I'm doing. It's a really like cool, competent feeling. I feel like I haven't felt competent for what I was doing in a long time, you know. So now it's good. I'm just tired, you know.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, you're doing a lot of physical labor doing all that,
right. And so I've never had a blue collar job before this one, so it's been good though. Like, it's a really good feeling, you know. I don't want to say work will set you free, but it feels like that, right? It feels like my mind has been freed, you know.
Just don't say it in German, and it should be okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord. Oh, do you
There is
have
something.
family in Ukraine?
No,
Birdie?
so like
No?
I had a friend in the Ukraine and he was able to get out, which is good. I have family in Russia though, and I'm just praying for no hot war. You know, it's so sad. And there are no good guys in this fight. It's just a lot of people that don't want to be bombed, and it's so sad. You know, and I wish I had something more insightful to say other than how sad it is, but it's just sad. That's it, you know. And yeah. And I also feel like a lot of people like think of Ukraine as like this cultural monolith, but it's not. It's you know, it's not a united country. It has different ethnic groups and different languages, and the borders are arbitrary post-Soviet borders, and it's complicated. Right?
What? Humans complicated?
Yeah.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah. And so I feel like I was kind of numb to it since like 2013. And only recently I woke up, I checked Twitter, I'm like, I feel heartbroken now. Because I just get like, yeah, it's the same shit since 2013. And like, oh wait, it got worse, you know?
These motherfuckers, these warlord motherfuckers, which I know there'd always be warlords, but fuck these guys.
Yeah. And I know people have been dying in Yemen this whole time, but it's, you know, closer to an old home, so it's only human. I care more.
Oh yeah, that's totally normal. Yeah, I'm sorry to get down on and talk about war, man. It's kind of fun. I guess it's like kind of as shitty as it is like, yeah, that's how fucking humans fucking are.
Right.
You know, like, can't forget that. I mean, not that like the last 2 years, obviously, none of us have forgotten anything like that, but
yeah.
That is what's weird about it. It's just all the propaganda around it. Like, you can't even believe anything, or it's hard to believe anything.
Yeah, like, and that's why, you know, like, I feel like I don't really know exactly what's going on, because it, like, when I'm reading in the news, like, oh, what do I think is true, or, you know, oh, the comment from the Yumi bomber. Actually, I know the Yumi bomber in person. Blue comrade. I know the world is scary. It's gonna get a lot worse.
It is gonna get a lot worse. Yeah, we're all fucked. Like,
yeah,
like, don't buy. Like I said, like I tweeted about earlier today. Don't buy Bitcoin. Buy seeds, because unfortunately our government has very strongly tethered themselves to our economy, and so if that goes down, everything's going down, and it looks like it's going to happen probably pretty soon. And where's Biden?
No.
I mean, Putin just basically
knows
threatened to nuke the world, and he's just like, pudding or some shit. I don't even know. He's just fucking gone.
He could be dead. I wouldn't even know.
God. What are they, like the hologram thing? Like everybody's talking about with Trump and how he was a hologram.
Yeah. Well, because there's been those like weird videos where there's like a little bit of a digital mistake, and I'm like, that can be fake. Everything can be faked, obviously, but then it's like, but that could be fake too. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you can get sort of glitches in digital recording that make it do that. I mean, it's not even anything. It's just like the flaws in the technology. So I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it's just like my internet gets a little bad for a minute and I get all digitized.
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know anything about technology.
Every time I think I know something, then it fucks up in my life again. And I'm like, fuck off, technology.
You know that saying, "This is how the world ends. This is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper." You know, like you would imagine the collapse would be more exciting. You know?
Yeah.
No.
That's
Well, I
funny.
think it's because it's not happening fast enough.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like right now we're living through like death of by 1,000 cuts kind of shit, and
Yeah.
it's not so obvious for a lot of stupid people that don't pay attention or that just believe what's in the media. So I don't know.
And it's just the last 2 years have been so fucking exhausting and grating on my last fucking nerve, you know? Like,
Yeah.
just like so tired of having to think about it. And like, although now they're trying to like, whatever, if that's part of the war stuff now too, they're like, COVID's just gonna like, we're just gonna walk away from that and focus on, you know, war or something. But yeah,
Well,
it's worn.
Just disregard the fact that they
I
ruined
don't
millions
know.
of lives over a virus with a recovery rate of 99.97% or whatever it is now.
So,
And I don't know if it was real or not, but I saw a tweet about somebody posted like talking points from like the DNC and basically like, yeah, let's just declare victory over COVID and start changing the messaging. like you can just arbitrarily do that. Like, yeah, we're going to decide that we're done with COVID. And it's like, if you can stop being stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. If you don't think all this shit is planned, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Like
at this point,
it's all bullshit. It's all subversion to get us to fight with each other. It makes me so angry that people can't see it.
Yeah, I already saw posts trying to like pin like, oh, Russia bad, Russia Republicans would like Russia. Like I brought up that Trump video, that lady trying to say it was all about Trump that this is happening. And like they're already trying to do that shit now. It's like my local news guy's like, oh, if you're a Republican, what do you think about what Russia's doing? Because it's kind of like what you want to do. You want to be the baddie. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, and if you fall for that shit, like, God.
Everything I don't like is Trump's fault, or everything has to do with Trump, or it's just.
And if you say
like
something
that,
I disagree with, you're racist.
Like that children's book cover with Hitler on that sled on the rainbow. Like,
oh yeah,
everybody
I don't like Hitler. Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, everybody's a Nazi, but Ukraine has real Nazis. Like, I'm not saying it to an exaggerated extent. Like, Ukraine has real Nazis that fly swastikas, just as Russia has those. Like, Eastern Europe has actual Nazis.
Right.
Like, we have them here too, but that's the thing is like, how prevalent is the problem with Nazism in those countries? Like here, we don't even really give it much of a thought. We're just like, yeah, there's just a handful of people. Fuck them. They don't have any power. But is it like, I mean, because you can tell, I mean, obviously that's one of the points that they're playing up. So I don't understand really what's
I think
like the
more of it
messaging
in Eastern Europe, but
was weird
also like
and it got
problem.
switched.
Yeah.
Because like at first people were like, oh yeah, there's all these Nazis in Ukraine, and so Putin's going to go take care of the Nazi regime in Ukraine. But then they're like, yay, Ukraine, all of a sudden. And they're like pouring out vodka and shit like that does anything.
And like Ukrainians don't make vodka, like nobody else in Eastern Europe makes vodka.
Yeah. Like there's a vodka distillery like an hour and a half away from my house in Kansas. Like that's not, I mean, people can make vodka. It's not like it's going to be that big of a deal. And the problem is you fucking paid for it already. Like quit destroy. I mean, I guess it's your right to destroy the things that you purchased, but it's stupid to do it. Like,
I thought it was a joke on Twitter until I saw like news clippings. I was just like, what? That's so weird. People are actually doing that. I thought it was a joke. Like it seemed too dumb to be serious. Justin, get in here.
Right, join us.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a thing, Justin.
What are they doing? What's that? Isn't that SWIFT thing like a banking transaction thing that they're kind of trying to shut down?
Yeah, it's like an international banking thing. For
something I heard this morning. We can't verify any of this shit right now. Like that's the problem. Is it seems like more than 50% of the information that we're getting is fake. Like it seems like everything comes out. But comes out and they're like, no, this isn't real. Just like those 13 soldiers on Snake Island and the Ghost of Kiev and all this other stuff. And it's like, but then people go, oh, well, that's good propaganda because it's for our side and it keeps the morale up. I
It's all
can't.
fucked.
I can't.
Justin,
Oh, hey.
do you have new sunglasses? Oh, nice.
Just saying.
Oh, you got the gun again, all right?
Goddamn.
I always have a gun within arm's reach.
What? I love that.
Me too.
The shot I caught you where you're like looking through the guns. It was like perfect. I need to get your phone number and make that your contact picture.
Oh, wait, I have your phone number. Let me just text you.
Okay.
Yeah, you bring a gun, I bring makeup. We're all very gender appropriate.
Hi, Bob.
Well, I have a gun.
Although I think my glasses are a bit bougier than yours, Forrest
I'm
Mommy.
always packing.
Yeah, mine are the they live glasses.
Mine are actual.
I will
like,
bring mine
wood
over
frame.
in a second.
Mine are carved wood frame.
Ooh, you are
Glasses.
bougie.
I love my glasses.
Oh yeah, yours are always so cute.
It looks like I have a crosswalk on my face.
That's a great way to put it. Let's see.
I
Welcome,
have
Justin.
these for when I need to be a hungover vampire. That's the look.
The Swift thing is very real, though. And I don't think it's going to be nearly as consequential as people want it to be, because most Russian businesses that do business internationally already have accounts in Lithuania, Bulgaria, and outside of Russia. So disconnecting Russian banks from the SWIFT system isn't actually going to hinder their ability to do business. It's only going to hinder their ability to get medallion signatures for multi-million-dollar transactions out of Russia. And they don't want to get money out of Russia right now. They want to get money into Russia.
Well, I like I said, like everything we're talking about, like who the fuck knows if it actually happened or not, until we get like verified proof. But somebody had posted this morning about there's like, was it Thailand or something that a lot of Russian people go vacation in, and like that their credit cards aren't working, so they're like stranded on vacation. And I mean, I don't know if these are just regular people like us, or if they're like the oligarchs that they keep saying they're trying to go after.
Yeah, that has more to do with the local banking system that the credit cards are tied to than the SWIFT system or anything like that. Because the Ukrainians are getting fucked too. There's Ukrainians on Twitter who have made it out to Kazakhstan, Poland, Romania, and Moldova, who are posting that their cards are all not working and shut off because Russia's hit their infrastructure and their banks can't connect.
Oh, is that what it is? Is they're all just getting hacked?
And now, so Anonymous
that's
is going after Russia, and they're just going carte blanche at Russia. They don't care. If it has a Russian IP address, they're trying to shut it down.
Well, and I wonder why, because there's so many other places that people have been about as equally shitty. Why didn't they go after those people? Why now?
Because Ukrainians are white.
God damn.
Got him.
They don't care about brown people. Like, they just don't. Like, if they cared about fucking brown people, if they cared about the fact that the colonial borders of retreating empires are creating cultural national boundaries ignorant of culture and history that are setting places up for war, like is what happened in Ukraine over the last 60 years, then they'd have a real big problem with the continent of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. Like Africa has been a bloodbath for 100 years since empires started retreating, and nobody's given two shits.
Do you mean to say that borders are arbitrary?
I mean, I'm an open borders guy, so.
A little bit.
Oh, and it's also like I'm not necessarily an open borders person, but like I think that the smartest comment I made on Twitter about this was post-Soviet borders, right? But like it is just basically, like you can't expect just because you've made a border here and everybody within that border is going to be a cultural social monolith.
The other thing is like one of the things that unfortunately people are not taking away from this conflict that I really wish they would take away is that all of the posturing about over the past 40 years of how we need this military defense spending, how we need to arm Europe, how we need to defend Europe from the potential of Russian aggression, and like costing the U.S. taxpayers trillions of fucking dollars a year to defend Europe against a country that It has no military capability. They have a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old kids who are drafted into an army and can't fight and win a war. They've only made progress in Ukraine by raw numbers alone, and they're barely holding territory. Like, if you actually look at any of the international media, not the U.S. media, but if you look at Russian media or Al Jazeera, they're reporting that Russia's getting their asses kicked in Ukraine right now. There are convoys just being burned to the fucking ground as they're trying to make their way into Ukraine. And the Russians are taking such heavy losses that they're leaving their dead on the battlefield and not even retrieving the bodies. And Reuters is doing a photo series showing just piles of Russian bodies being left there for 72 hours. And they're doing a picture every 24 hours as the weather changes. And no one's doing shit to do anything about it. And this isn't new. Like, everyone thought Russia was just going to overpower Ukraine in 24 hours and win this war. The last time Russia fought a conventional war was in 2008 when they invaded Georgia, a country the size of Maine that has the military budget of the Marine Corps' beef jerky supply. And they lost to Georgia in 2008. Like, who thought they were going to beat Ukraine, a country that is armed by NATO, fairly well funded, and very large and geographically diverse?
Although, I'm still really worried about how it's gonna go if there is a worse or hotter war, because, like, I keep saying that Russia has a very useful disregard for human life. It sadly has a lot of people, right? So the reason why Russia was able to basically play such a major role in winning World War II in Europe was because it had a lot of people to use as bullet fodder, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna get so ugly, and it's so sad.
And unfortunately, like, everyone's saying the U.S. needs to step in and help Ukraine, and I honestly think that is the worst thing for the world to possibly happen. Because right now, Russia has absolutely zero incentive to do anything but pour more ground troops into a losing fight. But if the U.S. gets involved, then the nukes are on the table.
Yep.
Are you raising your hand, Susie?
Yes. What if they don't necessarily want to defeat Ukraine? What if it's a distraction?
That's a huge possibility. It's just the real big question is what?
I have a few theories on this. Feel free to tear them down because these are some of my stony theories.
Those are the best kinds.
They do. Some of them seem to come true, so I've done pretty good so far. But there's one scenario that Putin's just fucking crazy, and he kind of wants the end of his reign because he's 69 years old or something.
And he has Parkinson's disease.
Oh, really?
So he wants to go out with a bang, maybe. I mean, why the fuck did he threaten Sweden and Finland? Like, what the fuck do they have to do with this?
Right.
So he's either just trying to, go out with a bang, or like, what the fuck? Is that me?
No, that's me. Go ahead.
Or this is just going off of things that I've seen, but what was it? Like, Chinese state media several months ago put out something that basically they didn't want to be part of the NWO anymore. So they were either lying about it, or they actually said, oh yeah, we'll go in on it with you, just because they were lying to us and they wanted all of our shit. They wanted all of our economy and all that kind of stuff. So then they're with Russia and possibly Iran, I guess. And they decided, nope, we're going to do our own NWO kind of thing. So it's actually, two factions of globalists fighting each other. Or, here's my third one, they're all in on it together. Because Putin used to be, one of the WEF's young leaders, things like that.
Young global leaders.
Yeah, the young global leaders. Trudeau is one. Who else?
Blackface Trudeau.
The guy, the president of Ukraine. What's his name?
Zelensky. He was also a former actor and comedian.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't trust anybody. So which one do you think it is, or most likely to be, I guess?
I think it's some kind of hybrid or a combination of all of that, and the mention of China is the really big thing there. China has been very blatant, very transparent since the 1950s about that their long-term eventual goal is the return of Taiwan to Chinese control. They have been completely transparent about that, and they have openly said they are willing to go to war with the United States to make that happen. when the time is right.
Well, they threatened to bomb or nuke Japan if they intervened.
Right.
They said that months ago.
And as far as like what this whole thing in Ukraine could be distracting us from, 2 days ago, a Chinese fighter squadron did a flyover to test Taiwanese air defenses and were intercepted by Taiwanese and American fighter jets and pushed out, but they violated Taiwanese airspace and tried to make a run on the Taiwanese capital.
Don't they do that all like every day?
They've never gone over the island before. They
They
test the ocean territory daily, but they've never gone over the island before.
That makes sense.
And then the very next day, the UN Security Council was hearing a resolution to condemn Russia for their actions in Ukraine. And nobody expected Russia to not veto it. Everyone knew Russia was going to veto it, but they expected a unanimous vote in support of it. And then it would still kind of have weight as far as an international resolution has, saying, we condemn you, but aren't going to do shit about it. Nobody expected China and India to abstain from the vote. And China and India have the two largest standing armies in the world. And that scared the shit out of people because China released a big, long, huge statement saying the reason they abstained is because they don't think Russia's going about it correctly, but they do know that they're going to need Russian support to wrest Taiwan from American control. And at the same time, India released no statement, but all of a sudden, India's building up troop totals on the Kashmir border with Pakistan, where they've had disputed territory with Pakistan for the past 100 years.
It's like there was a meme online that basically summarizes what you've said, but it also has a map of Australia and like emus peeping out of the corner. So like the emus are gonna attack the people. Like if everybody's attacking their enemy, the emus in Australia are gonna attack the people. It's funnier in meme format than when I say it.
Yeah, I think China would probably try to take Australia because they're kind of embedded in there anyway.
Well, Australia has a natural resource that is very, very hard to find elsewhere in the world that everyone really, really wants. Australia has some of the largest natural uranium deposits in the world.
Interesting.
That's why Japan tried to take Australia first during World War II.
I don't even remember that I learned that part in school.
No.
I don't remember most of what I learned in school.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, Japan's nuclear program was about 5 years ahead of the U.S.'s nuclear program in World War II.
Oh.
And then after the U.S. Marines and Navy liberated Australia from Japanese control, they no longer had access to uranium, so they scrapped their whole program and decided to focus on building lasers instead.
I
Like
didn't
Jewish
know
space
Japan was in
lasers, or-
Australia. Wow.
No? Okay.
I feel like Scott Horton should be here.
I know. I would love to have him on. I'm trying to get Majid. I want him on. He replied to something I posted. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get back.
Yeah.
I love listening to him.
Yeah, that interview with Rogan was really something.
Oh, him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
He just looks
listened
so
to that,
sweet. He looks so
2
sweet
days ago.
too. That's what that matters. I'm all. He just looks nice. I want to talk to him. I could try and get Scott Horton on.
I was
He's
just
there
gonna text him
busy.
for you.
We'll just all be like, oh God, what? He's so easy to pay attention to, and that's like, that's how people become good teachers or whatever. And some people don't because they fucking suck. But like, he's so engaging, you know. Anyways,
Yeah.
silence.
There is this Russian joke. What do you do in a nuclear apocalypse? Wrap yourself in a white blanket and slowly crawl towards the cemetery. Why crawl slowly? You'll get there soon enough anyway. Right? So, hey, if World War III happens soon, I don't have to do my taxes. That's
You
right.
do taxes?
I'm trying to get my
Yes.
money back.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I do
Yeah.
taxes is so I can get my money back.
I just don't pay
I'm-
them in the first place.
Yeah, I'm a
Well-
coward. I support the regime, whatever. I don't want to get in trouble with the government.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry. Failure to pay my taxes is not what I'm going down for.
Yeah.
It's gonna be-
Here's the thing: if you don't pay them and
I'm
then
gonna
you
stop
don't
with that.
file, they have no paperwork to have a remote guess at how much you owe them. And then if you just don't keep records,
Yeah, but when you
they
have
can't
a
audit
job,
those records.
when you have a job that automatically takes them out. You're kind of spooked either way. So
Right.
I would like to
You
get
have
my
to
money back
report.
too, you know.
and I used to not like.
Yeah.
I mean, but when I had my business, but now I don't have that anymore, and so we're just relying on my husband's income at the moment. But we also homeschool now, so it's not like I can really work anyway.
Yeah.
But we've got our homestead and homeschooling and everything else that keeps me tied to this 1/4 acre of property.
The work
days
the
on
work
end.
humans are like meant to do. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
I don't
we're
know though. I
supposed
want
to-
more space. Like,
Well, yeah.
So that's actually like one of like the big things, the selling points that I try and sell to people to get them to move to New Hampshire, is like,
No.
do you homeschool? Then it's like seriously the best state ever. We had a big fundraiser yesterday for the Children's Scholarship Fund in New Hampshire, where we had a hockey game. We did a charity hockey game between the Republican Party and the Libertarian Party, and
Oh,
the
I saw those
Libertarian Party
pictures.
won. The Libertarian
Nice.
Party finally got a W on the board.
what doesn't?
Ace.
Why did the New Hampshire governor that come out and say that they were encouraging people to not sell Russian products?
Because he's a virtue signaling twat waffle.
I mean, do
Listen,
they have
Twat
New
waffle is the best
stores?
term, by the way.
New Hampshire's the freest state, and we have a long way to go still. But the governor's an idiot, and one of the actual problems about New Hampshire is that the state has a monopoly on vice. So the state controls.
Oh, you're
the
really
liquor
selling
commission.
me on New Hampshire right now. Let's
Hey.
I
As I am not an evangelist like some free staters. I like to be honest with people, and like say we're not perfect and we still have a long way to go. We're better than everywhere else, that's for sure. But we have a long way to go till I'm happy.
Oh, okay. We didn't lose you. Great. For a while, like the whole screen went black. I was like, no.
Oh,
think that was
Anyway,
just
I'm
because
sorry.
we were
I
okay.
didn't mean to interrupt you, Justin.
but like Sununu, so our liquor stores are all state run, and it's weird. It's hard to get people to like oppose to state liquor stores, because even though it's a monopoly that's controlled by the state, it's so much cheaper than Massachusetts for liquor. And even though, and all of the revenue from the state liquor store goes to property tax offsets to fund the schools.
Or they
Yeah.
could
Can you
just
talk about why you
have
guys?
property tax.
Yeah, can you talk about why y'all's property taxes are absolutely retarded?
Because it's the only tax in the state.
Fair enough.
Like, even with our retarded property taxes, it's the lowest overall tax burden in the country per individual. And I agree, they're retarded. They're absolutely obscene. But they're still lower than New York.
Well, just say that they're a little slightly better than something doesn't necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on how you want to weigh it, but like that's not worth me leaving Kansas. You know.
No,
I mean,
there's
it's so
plenty
much
of
more
reasons for
open out
people
here.
not to move. There's plenty of reasons for people not to move. And
That's why I
to be
like you,
honest with those.
Justin, as a representative of the Free State Project, is because you like debate people were for not having moved yesterday. Like even just saying there are good reasons not to move is already like I want to hug you. I want to drive over to Manchester and hug you just for saying that.
But homeschooling is one of the reasons to move, because New Hampshire, as I believe right now, is the only state where if you homeschool, you get your tax money back.
See, that would be nice. I mean, we had a hell of a time here. Because I found out, because this is the kind of shit that emergency orders do, because everybody just forgets that they have laws and things that they have to abide by. But like apparently like them just going online and the teachers doing things online is not the way they should have done it, because they were like, well, we're not accredited by the state. But because it was an emergency, it was like, fuck that. We'll just do whatever we want right now and screw our own rules. And so then I went to enroll my son in online schooling when they reinstituted the mask mandate, because they like to dangle that over the kids' heads. Don't get too sick or we're going to make you put the face diaper back on. And it's like, fuck you. Don't leave that on the children. People are fucking sick. Anyway, I went to enroll him in online schooling. Well, one, they didn't have any room for him. Like there was no availability. And I was like, well, what's the point to this? I actually had to go, I went through 6 different online programs before I found one that could take him, because they just didn't have room. So there's there's a demand in the market also that needs to be met for something like that. I mean, I think there's probably a huge market, especially in the cities, of doing doing homeschooling, but being a teacher and, doing it at your house or something like that. I'm sure people would pay a lot of money for the convenience of that also.
Yeah, we have a couple homeschooling collectives where
That's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, where there's people, and like I have a few good friends who all have school age kids who, like some of them they were putting. I don't have any friends that I know personally whose kids were in public schools to begin with, but they were in charter schools or private schools, or there was a couple Montessori programs. And after COVID, they just said fuck all and pulled their kids out of schools altogether. But now there's like a homeschooling collective where there's like 15 to 20 kids that go to class together, and it's not in a accredited school, but it's the parents rotating through on their days off, each teaching the kids and running the homeschooling program for all the kids. And New Hampshire's homeschooling regulations are so loose that they can technically get away with each parent just writing a letter to the state saying, I'm homeschooling my kids. That's it. You have no business.
And that's way more important than buying booze.
Yeah. So, but, and all the booze money that the state does get goes towards funding all the schools. And if you pull your kids out of schools, you get your cut back. So, which is really cool, especially because the response to COVID in schools in New Hampshire, I think, was a little bit different than everywhere else in the country. We had more kids leave public school than enter public school for the first time ever, 2 years in a row.
That's awesome.
In New Hampshire, even though we've seen the highest population growth in the state's history, because so many people are moving to New Hampshire.
That's the number one reason I want to move, is because I want to have children, and I can't have children in Massachusetts. I just won't. Like I won't.
No. But like, if you already have a homestead in Kansas, it's hard to replace that. Like, and I get that, and like, I don't pressure. I'd love to see you move to New Hampshire and set up a homestead here, because we'd have one more homesteader that I could trade with.
Yeah, no, it's too tiny. I like the wide open spaces of Kansas. I don't think I'd want to be anywhere near New England because it's surrounded by too many idiots. Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, that's the crazy thing. That is one crazy thing about New Hampshire. Like, everyone thinks it's all packed and condensed, and but like I think like 80% of our population lives within 30 miles of the Massachusetts border. Then you get up into northern New Hampshire, and everything's spread the fuck out. It's like you driving 20 minutes between neighbors' houses. There's tons of homesteads and farms up there in the mountains, and I know Forest Mommy hates our mountains.
I don't hate them. I'm just like, I grew up at a higher altitude than your highest point in your state. Okay,
we have Mount Sunflower here, which I don't even know if it can technically be considered a mountain anymore because of erosion. So if you want a lot of flat land, we have that going for us. But not everybody can move to New Hampshire. That was what I'm saying. Like, we need to be realistic about it. Everybody goes, oh, well, move here.
It's good they got it going, though. I think
it's a finite space.
It's important to do to maybe eventually follow their model in other places. That's what I like about New Hampshire, and like especially some of the laws and bills you guys have been writing and all this stuff, and like your Quill or like all those places, like that needs to be patterned around the country. And you guys are like kind of the first to make it.
Hey, we plan to annex Maine when we secede.
Right.
So, yeah, when we secede, we're going to take Maine with us. So,
all right.
We want the coastline.
You're going to annex Maine?
Want the lobsters.
It's a beautiful, empty state. Like,
my plan very beautiful.
Is to just like, so Portsmouth, New Hampshire is like this real uppity liberal city. And Portland, Maine is pretty terrible too. And I'm like, we can just like give those to Massachusetts and take the rest of Maine. And it'll be fine.
Because the borders should be if they're going to be borders, draw them culturally, not like
arbitrarily.
Yeah.
Then New Hampshire becomes the next Ukraine. Who knows? We'll be begging for Russia to interfere on our behalf.
Send me in.
Oh lordy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
where's Dee at? I thought we were going to talk about
I know. She said she would be a little late, but as soon as she gets here, she gets the floor for like
I messaged Scott Horton, told him he should jump on too.
Scott Horton explains World War III to us. Yeah, I need to finish my taxes tonight. I'm just procrastinating so hard. I did a lot of freelance stuff last year. It's like I don't want to do it.
That was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to I didn't want to file 2019 and 2020, but Mr. Forrest mommy's like, you have to fucking do it because I'm not paying your fines and shit. And I'm like, okay, fine. Like they have people by the balls still. And so I'm 1099, so I have to pay in at the end, you know. And it's like, but they could just not. I could just not.
I just really hate
stimulus
that
money.
they're like, hey, we know how much you owe. You have to guess how much you owe. And if you get it wrong, then we take your ass to fucking prison or we take your house.
Yeah.
See, that's the benefit
you
of
cunt bags.
That's the benefit of being a practicing anarchist and doing agorism and working entirely outside of the system. Is if you don't have any of that paperwork filed, they don't know how much you owe.
Yeah, I didn't do that, so I'm a bad anarchist. I would like.
It's not easy to do, and again, just like not everyone can move to New Hampshire. Like, I'm pretty sure it'd be a hell of a lot harder for me to be a complete outside the system agorist and live completely off cash transactions and crypto with my friends. If I had like a family and kids,
Right,
a little more difficult.
Yeah.
And if you own a house or a vehicle, because they know that you own them, because everything's filed with the state, you know. I mean, they have to approve everything you do in your life, whether you get married, have a kid, you know, you can't just say, no, I don't want them to have a social security number.
That's true.
You can. I don't recommend it's not the worst thing in the world to do. I actually have a friend whose daughter has no social security number, no birth certificate. She was a home birth, and
that's different though. Is what I'm saying is, like, I was super sick when I was pregnant. I had to be in the hospital or I would have died. I didn't have a choice, and a lot of other people don't have a choice either. Of course, most births are healthy now, you know, are safe and healthy outside of hospitals, but they're also pumping us with so much garbage shit that we're giving birth to these monster babies. So we have to go to the hospital because women aren't supposed to have 9-pound babies. Like, that's not normal. And
I was 11 pounds when I was born.
Great, googly moogly. That's not normal.
But no, when I first heard of that, I asked my friend, I'm like, why would you, like, you're setting her up for like a lifetime of failure and like difficulty and trying to like deal with existence by not having a social or a birth certificate. And then they told me, like, nah, it's gonna be super easy for her. And they showed me the regulations. And it's like, if she decides when she's 18 she wants a social and a birth certificate, all she has to do is file this paperwork and get it. If she decides she wants to live outside the system, we gave her that opportunity.
Nice.
I'm like,
Wow. One easy thing that the government kind of did there then.
Yeah. Well, they made it real easy to opt into the system, real difficult.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're like, oh, no, you can join anytime. We want you. We want to know about you anytime.
Yeah.
Leaving, on the other hand, I don't know about that.
Well, no, you got to pay a tax for all that, too.
Yeah. Well, some states now are putting taxes on you to move out of the state.
Yeah, I think Illinois has been like that for a while. Exit tax.
Sheesh. Or, you know, California has that rule, like, now you have to pay taxes like for a number of years after you move.
How are they going to collect?
That should be illegal.
like, how do they plan to collect? Is like my big question. Like, fuck you. Like, no.
Right. You go fuck yourself.
Well, if you can, like, if you sell your house, that's how they do it. Then they're just at closing. They're just like, sorry, we're going to just keep taxing you.
Oh, yeah. No, but that was the one issue I've run into in like the past like 5 years of not paying taxes. I decided like a couple months ago, I'm like, my lease is coming up. And I have a really sweet deal where I pay my landlord in crypto. My name's not on anything, so it works out where I don't exist. But
you're a ghost.
But I'm like, my lease is coming up, and like maybe it's time to like actually do something to plan for the future. And like, I'm gonna look at buying one of these multifamilies and get property that generates income for me. And I went and talked to a mortgage person who's a free stater, and she's like super cool.
Brittany?
No, Brittany's my landlord. But I went and talked
Shout out to
to
Brittany.
a mortgage person, and I was going to ask Brittany to help me buy a house. And
It's Brittany, bitch.
Yeah.
and the mortgage lady's like, she's like, oh, how much are you looking at putting down? I'm like, oh, I think I can put like $250 to $300 down. And she's like, oh, sweet, we can get you qualified for anything. I just need your past 5 years of tax returns. I'm like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And I'm like, listen, I want to buy a $700,000 multifamily with $300,000 down. The rents on that 6 family will be triple the mortgage payment every month. I don't need to have any other income to pay off that mortgage because of how much I'm putting down. And she's like, yeah, but the bank won't approve you unless you can prove 5 years of income. I'm like, I can show you bank statements. She's like, can you prove where the money came from? I'm like, fuck you.
OnlyFans. You should say it all came from OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Because OnlyFans gives you a 1099.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I found out that way
because I walked a lot of dogs on the side.
Yeah.
So I got a 1099 from them.
No, I got my first 1099 last week in the mail from last
OnlyFans?
year. No, from Patreon. I wasn't expecting. Like, I'm like, what? What do you mean I have to pay taxes on this? Fortunately, the income they 1099 me on is under the standard deduction, so I don't actually have to pay any taxes on it this time around.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, fuck these people. Like,
Yeah.
I successfully opted out for 5 years, and I asked the internet to subsidize me, and now they want me to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
Forrest Mummy, you should cash in on the internet money.
I'm trying a little bit.
You have the easy route, though.
No, I don't have big boobs though. That's one thing. I don't have big boobs.
But
But they're still awesome boobs.
Yeah,
boobs,
that's
man.
I'm just saying. If I had that, and as a real estate agent too, I'd be pulling in more business.
Did you see the real estate agent that put out an ad? It was weird because she was like gorgeous, but she was like awkward. She's like, please buy a house from me. I'm not built for OnlyFans.
Oh, I think I did see that. I did see that. Yeah, she can do OnlyFans. And I saw another one that was like the Apu or Pepe frog, and it was like, it was so cute. I want someone to make one with me in like Photoshop, like make me a Apu meme for real estate. I think that'd be cute.
I love the Pepes and the Apus. They're so cute. I have
know.
like this crazy collection of them by now.
They're
What are
so
we talking
wholesome. The
Yeah.
little frog meme, it's like, you've seen it. Hold on.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right. Let's see. I know I have a ton. They're just this cute little frog memes, and they put them in like every aspect of life. And like sometimes he has
Are
a
you
family.
talking about like the Pepe meme?
Yeah, the Pepe memes, like that guy. You seem
Oh,
to
yeah, I've
know.
never heard him
You
called
seem to
Apu,
know having so
Apu.
much fun. Like bless his little heart.
I like the one where he's like, friends.
Yes.
Help me find my friends. They're very wholesome. I mean, it's so stupid.
And
that
they were supposed to
consider
be,
them-
they got like dog whistled as alt-right Nazi shit way back.
Yeah.
It's like, it just made people want to use it even more because it's like, no, fuck you. They're just cute and adorable.
Here, we could all do this, you know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Symbol.
There goes the account.
No, that's okay. Hex says the hard R on here every now and then. So. And we're not
Oh,
sure
no.
if like if they could like tell if, because we're like, well, he's black, he's allowed to say it, but who
Well,
knows?
Twitter didn't like it when I said it, and I didn't even hard R it on Twitter.
We
They
joked
still
like
didn't like it.
I did a stream with Masha once. We went on Dan's Smots' stream, and Masha's like, "Okay, Justin, you need to make sure I don't say the N word. We'll get in trouble." And then, like immediately, she just starts dropping it with hard R's. And like, and the video never got taken down, and YouTube censors never caught it. And everyone's like wondering why, like, because YouTube can't understand her accent.
It's probably true. Probably sounds like something else. Oh Lord.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, okay, so we get our speech policed pretty much in every aspect of our life. Like, we're really only truly free right now in our heads, but I'm really concerned about this Neuralink shit. because then we won't even be free in our minds anymore.
It's scary.
And that's terrifying to me.
Especially because if they'll force it. There won't be a choice to not get it, and you know that's the route they'll go.
Well, I think it would probably start with just a fundraise. It'd be like that that Black Mirror episode, almost like where they had that thing in their eye, the camera thing. And it was like they were trying to sell it to people, but they'll do that at first and make it voluntary because then they can make a lot of money doing that. And then they'll start forcing people to do it because they'll realize that they can use it for crimes, things like that.
Oh yeah, pre-thought.
They could use it even for pre-crime shit, because if you have a discussion with somebody about
Minority Report type shit.
Yes, exactly. So it's like our world is becoming this fucking horrifying amalgamation of like all of these dystopian futures, and I hate it. And I'm so tired.
Let's all go Demolition Man and move underground somewhere.
Yes,
away
thank
from
you.
everything.
That's what we're gonna have to do.
I don't want Taco Bell to win the franchise wars.
No,
though.
I don't either.
That's true.
It's gonna be McDonald's, though, unfortunately. Okay,
McDonald's just buys everything up.
I do like McDonald's cheeseburgers because they're garbage. I don't eat Taco Bell, but I only get kids' meals when I go out to eat, because then I don't feel like such a fat sack of crap after I eat them.
I don't know what exactly the topic was because I just popped in, but I just want to say I still have a very wholesome association with McDonald's, because growing up in Russia, going to McDonald's was a very big deal. Like overall, like going out to eat was a very big deal. I grew up during a very economically depressed time. And I would only go to McDonald's if I had a doctor's appointment that was bad. Or one day I remember my dad took me to McDonald's right before we were moving to America because he thought I was freaked out and he wanted to do something nice for me. So I still really value McDonald's because as a kid it was so special,
My mom is a vegetarian.
Oh, doggy.
Yeah, my
What's
mom
your dog's name, Susie?
This is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Everybody's seen pictures of Bob on my Twitter feed. This is Bob.
What's up, Bob?
Shout out, Bob.
Yeah.
Shout out, Bob.
He can't hear you, but
I've always been confused with growing up with my mom as a vegetarian because she would cook the best steak in the world for me, but she was a vegetarian and she would never touch the meat. And I asked her, I'm like, how are you an Italian woman with all the cooking skill in the world and can be a vegetarian? And she's and she told me that she hadn't eaten meat since she got sick and threw up when she went to McDonald's when she was pregnant with me. And I'm like, are you sure it wasn't because you were pregnant or at McDonald's and you're gonna blame the meat?
Yeah,
right.
You're going to just ignore this gorgeous cut of sirloin because you threw up from a cheeseburger one time, possibly, maybe. Oh, I couldn't do it. Nope, couldn't do it. But then again, I wouldn't live up to my name if I didn't eat meat. So,
and she understands how good meat is. She got me a Mikazaki A5 Wagyu ribeye for Christmas. That was my Christmas present from her. I'm like, so you understand the value of steak.
Yeah. I feel like I can. I don't want to be vegetarian, but I feel like I could very easily be one. If I'm single, I kind of start going vegetarian, just not on purpose, just because I get so lazy, and for some reason, just not cooking meat is easier than cooking meat. Even it's not on purpose. I just at times get so lazy. I'll just throw broccoli in the oven and be like, okay, fine, whatever. But now I have a boyfriend and I'll cook for him and he'll cook for me, and I'm like, oh yeah, now meat's more in my system. But I just feel I trail off into vegetarian land when I don't give a fuck about what I'm eating.
Yeah, I mean it's more fulfilling, I think, to cook for two people than it is for one too. I love cooking, and I'm not bad at it. I'm not great, but I'm not bad either. I'm one of those that I can make a meal out of anything, because we're poor.
And soups. You make soups.
Oh my God, how many soups?
When I cook, I had to quit. I either have to go completely zero effort or no effort spared whatsoever when I cook. So it's either I'm making pasta or I'm cooking a seared ahi tuna steak with a steamed asparagus side, and like
I like how you said sear. You're like a seared.
Like this is a 5-star.
Sear it.
This is a Michelin 5-star experience when I cook, and like,
Is it?
oh, it's. I went grocery shopping earlier this morning, and I'm like, I gotta go get groceries for the week.
I
And
just picture you like in an apartment, like on an electric stove, like cooking your like Michelin experience.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was me.
Just a nice apartment. I feel so like I have been there. Like he has a nice space. You have a lot of room.
I don't know.
You know.
I have this big empty office.
Yeah, like right, like I've been to your home, and my first impulse like, oh, what if we decorate it this way? What if we put this there? Well, this could go here, right? Like it just was like womanly impulse to get into a space, be like, how could we clutter this? You know?
Yeah, where it's like my
Because we feel
mostly
safer
empty.
when we're surrounded
Yeah.
by things.
Yeah, but no, like I went grocery shopping this morning. I'm like, I just need a week's worth of pasta and like lunches for work. And instead I came home with all the ingredients to make a pot roast for 12 people. And I'm like, oh fuck, I did it again. And
That sounds so good, too.
So later I'm gonna go make a big pot roast for it.
Nice.
Yum.
I made meatloaf last night with venison, ground beef, and pork rinds.
Mm.
And I seasoned the shit out of it, but there's something, I don't know. It like pulled all the flavor out. It was a little disappointing. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of flavor to it, even though, you know, I seasoned the crap out of it. So I'm not really sure how to fix that, except to do even more, I guess. I don't know.
And my cat eats better than I do, though.
Ah.
You know, like so I was saying before, I work with dogs, and like some dogs, we have a day school program, they get sent with lunches, and some dogs are at the kennels overnight, and some dogs we raise. And there was this one night, there was a dog that was in the kennel for like a board and train program, and I see what its food is, and it's just like a giant piece of salmon. It's like, oh yeah, this dog is on a wild meat diet. It only eats wild meat. And it's like sitting and looking at the salmon and refusing to eat the like giant slab of wild salmon. And I'm just like, can I have that? Like,
the dog is as bougie as Forrest Mommy.
Yeah. I cook some salmon for like neighborhood cats and stuff, you know. Yeah. Cute.
Well,
I'm
last
not
night
big
I
on
cooked my cat
fish.
trout. I cooked my cat like
I bet you like it so much.
yeah. She got
Nice.
rainbow trout for dinner.
nice.
I upgraded to white albacore tuna instead of just the plain tuna.
White albacore and water.
Yeah, not oil. Ew.
Yeah. I'm about
Next
that
upgrade
shit.
is to just buy the steak, the tuna steak.
Ain't
It is
nobody got
good.
time, dude. I'm in Kansas. We don't get good seafood here. I mean, it's always pre-frozen. None of it is ever fresh.
So, like, here's another selling point for New Hampshire: we have a coastline.
I don't like fish that much, so I'm okay. Like,
You don't like fish that much because you haven't had fresh caught tuna steak.
oh, I love tuna. I don't eat it that much, and yeah, that's why. It's because we don't. But you know, I mean, I can walk across the street and cut a steak off a cow if I really wanted to right now.
Well, it's still
I don't think
alive.
he'd be too happy about it, but you know.
No, I had friends. So, I dated this girl in college, and one summer she came out to stay with me. I had a beach house on the Cape at the time, and she's staying with me. And she's like, "I don't like seafood. I don't like seafood." I'm like, "Fuck." She was stationed in Texas before. I'm like, "What do you mean you don't like seafood?" She's like, "Lobster is disgusting." I'm like, have you ever had fresh lobster? She's like, "No." So I walked out into the backyard, pulled up the trap that I had tied to my dog, grabbed 2 fresh lobster, and cooked it. And she's like, "This isn't what lobster tastes like." I'm like, "No, that's lobster."
This
Whatever
is
the fuck they're
like
giving
New
you in the
England
middle
of
of
a
the
conversation
desert.
as it
Yeah.
gets, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever they're giving you in the desert isn't real seafood.
Yeah,
I
I
do
definitely
prefer crab
trust
over
it.
lobster.
I've had lobster in Maine, and it was because my mom was like visiting, and we went to Kennebunkport, Maine. It was really cute, and like we had lobster. It was nice. I just feel like I don't care that much. Like I'll eat canned tuna and I'll be happy with it. So it was like one of those like check off, like you know when you have families that like visit you where you live and you do the classic local things. I like
Right.
checked off. I had lobster. I don't have a desire to seek out lobster in New England again. It's not as bad. It was fine, but I feel like canned tuna would have been fine. I'm just not that picky.
Well,
You
I'm
know?
that way too. It's like I will be satisfied with junk, garbage, pasta, tuna, whatever. But
Yeah.
like I want to know that luxury is there.
Yeah,
And
I guess
be
so.
like, my idea of being comfortably wealthy is that I can afford sushi whenever I want it.
Yeah.
Not that I go
idea-
and
to
get
the
sushi
butcher.
every day. Yeah.
My idea of being comfortably wealthy is to live somewhere that has a built-in air conditioner.
I don't even have an air
Solid.
conditioner.
How?
Oh. I have windows and a fan. That's all I need.
How hot does it get in the summer in New
It gets
Hampshire?
hot. I mean,
How hot is
Massachusetts
hot?
gets so hot. It's just swampy. I want to tear my skin off, but also I'm
It's
from Russia, so
hot.
I
So it's I do very well with temperature extremes. I can like the hottest temperature I've ever experienced is 168 Fahrenheit.
wow.
Okay, but that's not answering my question, Justin. How hot does
And-
it get in New Hampshire?
Like it hasn't been over 100 except for like maybe 2 or 3 total days in the 6 years I've lived here.
It is swampy
that's
and
it?
miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we actually in Kansas, it's kind of cooled down. Like it's weird because it seems like it's cooled down more in the summer, but it's warmed up more in the winter.
I love it. It's great. It's perfect.
It's really bizarre, but it seems, I don't know, like because we had last week it was 28 and snowy, and then this week it's supposed to be like 74 or 78. It's insane. It has never been 78 in February. What is happening?
It's like 60 today, right here in New
Yeah,
Hampshire.
that's not, I mean, for us, that's not normal for it to be 60 in the middle of winter. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
We got
It's not
2
global
feet of
warming.
snow.
It
We got
is
2 feet of snow 2 days ago.
38 right now in
That's
Boston.
our high. I think our high is like 40 something for today.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
glad that I'm not going to have to thaw out the chicken water for a few days.
Hello. We have a
Who's
friend.
that?
This is
Hey, guys.
boosted.
Who
Hi,
is that?
Boosted.
I don't know who you are. Hi.
Who are you on Twitter?
Mike Oxlong.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh God.
That was perfect. Oh God. God. He's Mike Oxlong, Mike Oxlong.
Uh-huh.
There was a CNN broadcast that was going on back in the day where the people were just like commenting real live and they weren't filtering it, and they're using, you know, Anita cock in me or something like that, and my cock song and all that. So I just took it.
My Oxlong. He's a printer are you printing something right now, Boosted?
No, it's off. I printed some stuff yesterday. Notably, just some vice blocks for AR-15 magwells,
Very nice.
just so you can
Nice.
chuck it up and do work on lowers.
Can I show you the best 3D printing present I've received as an honorary bird?
Aww.
Is that an
Yeah.
owl?
Yes.
It's Moloch. No, it's
Oh,
Moloch.
yeah, right?
Well, you might appreciate my piece of 3D printing right here.
Snailian.
Nice. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
Oh
damn.
wow, that's cool.
I don't
That's
own
impressive.
anything that is 3D printed.
This took like forever to 3D print.
I bet, and put together. I want
Well,
to
if we're
be
going
able to do
goddamn
that, but
P90.
it's just like, oh, my brain's not gonna be able to wrap around all this.
Yeah.
I'm too
No,
busy
so-
growing shit.
So I'm
Yeah,
helping.
We should do what we're good at.
I'm helping organize Liberty Forum, which is next weekend. We've been working on it for a few months to New Hampshire Liberty Forum, and our keynote speaker is Cody Wilson of Defense Distributed.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
And-
wow. That's impressive.
We're planning on having during his keynote and going all day 6 3D printers, each printing a different part of the item that will be raffled off.
Nice.
So you printed the chassis of the P90 and then you
Yes.
put all the guts in it?
It's actually, this is a real heavy modification. So what I used for the receiver is not actually 5.7, it's 22 long rifle.
Yeah.
And it used a Ruger 1022 receiver
Okay, I got that. Yeah.
and Ruger 1022 bull barrel.
Actual
This is-
can or fake can?
Actual, not 3D printed.
Well, yeah, I hope so.
But
Thank you, everyone, for always talking about guns. I think guns helps me get more viewers and stuff, so I appreciate all the gun talk every time.
Oh, I've been harassing a Ukrainian politician on Twitter and Instagram the last couple of days, trying to get her to come on my show. She is the leader of the Ukrainian opposition party in parliament.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she has been like a hardcore Euro-liberal trash forever, like anti-gun, pro-social welfare, like tax the rich.
Typical German.
Yeah. And then in the last 72 hours, she's red-pilled herself real time on Twitter.
Oh, damn.
And now she's posting selfies with her new AK and like posting video of her just handing out AKs to people on the street and like saying everyone needs to be armed. Like
that seems a little fishy though, to have such a fast turnaround. And you just wonder what kind of person would just like give up all of their principles like that.
Well, that's what I want to ask her.
Yeah, because it's a little confusing. Like, it's okay to change your mind, but it's just like if all of a sudden overnight, like everything that you've hardcore believed in for decades, you're just like, fuck it. Like that means like this person has no integrity.
A foreign invading army shooting
at pretty polarizing
armed in a major city is a pretty big immediate incentive to turn on anti-gun principles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but haven't they kind of had issues with that for years though in Ukraine? So wouldn't she have kind of already?
Not in Kyiv, not in major cities, out in like the Donbass region on the Russian border, yeah, but not in like the major metropolitan areas.
So you think because it's on her doorstep that she's all of a sudden like,
all of a sudden it's real to her? Yeah.
Oh my God, we're going to get shot.
That happened here in 2020, basically.
Yeah.
So it only matters when you're getting shot, not when your constituents are getting shot. That makes sense. Okay.
You know, just like American politicians.
So I think
those are the real bougie. You got me bougie.
Yeah, we'll live behind our private housing or private walls, subdivisions, but you can't have a wall to protect your country.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How are we going to solve the world's problems, guys?
Burn it down.
Burn it. Yeah, that was all good answers.
Go to
Make
Mars.
some Molotov cocktails because apparently all the information's out there. It's not hard to do, but you know, save up those wine bottles, ladies.
Yeah, I mean napalm's easy to make.
Well, faux
I'm saving it.
See, I don't drink, so I have a problem.
But I put dried flowers in them.
Perfect. So you're set.
That way they look innocuous. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the craziest part. You have like people in the United States saying, "Stop selling Russian vodka," and people in Ukraine are like, "Use the Russian vodka for Molotov cocktails."
Yeah, exactly. Throw it back at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is that? It's so stupid how that's happening already. Where they're just trying to like do that divisive
nobody
shit.
knows what Russia exports except for fucking vodka. Like
I don't know, oil.
And wives.
And like, ammunition. What? Like, God forbid if they stop selling Russian oil and ammo, we're really fucked.
What can
they already
boycott that won't really hurt us at all, but it makes a good virtue signal? Vodka, because everybody makes fucking vodka. So who cares if we lose the Russian
it's from
stuff?
Poland, right? It's not like it's from Poland.
Yeah, if they pull fucking Tula off the shelf, then
that is actually going to happen soon.
Aren't there other people that make
happened last year?
Steel cased ammo, though? Isn't that what the problem is? Is it steel cased ammo?
It's all
no, there was some dumb shit Russia did, and the Biden administration sanctioned them again.
No, I know, but aren't there other countries that make the same ammo?
Oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact, PSA, Palmetto State Armory, they're supposed to be working with some of those former combat countries who make the ammo to get their tooling and their expertise so they can mass produce steel case ammo
Palmetto's here in Houston, isn't it?
Say what?
I think Palmetto's in Houston.
I think they're in one of the Carolinas, actually.
I got one of their AR blim lowers or uppers, not lowers, uppers.
I have one of their lowers.
And that's it. That's what I have.
No, I guess they are in South Carolina. I thought I saw them down in South Houston. Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Palmetto, didn't Palmetto State Armory, comply with the feds when they asked for a list of everyone who bought 80% from them? I thought I saw something about that.
Could have been
possibility.
Yeah.
And well, I'm sure it wasn't just that specific item. It was just give us your customer list, because why would they break it down like that? If they weren't going to fight it, why would they bother to break it down? You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being like, here's a complete customer list, so it doesn't matter.
Well, any other customer would have, like, if somebody bought a complete rifle or a milled receiver with a serial number, would have had the 4473 filled out, so they wouldn't.
Right.
The feds would already.
No,
have
I
that
know.
info.
I'm not saying stuff like that. I'm just talking about in general. I mean,
Actually, the feds are not allowed to keep the 4473s unless the business goes out of business.
Yep.
yeah, they say that.
They say that.
They say
we're not
that.
allowed to
They
do a
say
lot
that.
of other things, but they do that shit every day.
I know, but the gun control, or was it the Firearms Act of 1986 that banned the registration of machine guns, also made it illegal for the federal government to create a list of gun owners.
So
Yeah,
they don't
a
give a shit.
registry.
They have a
I
list.
know they
They know
don't.
what we have. They know what we have.
They
They know
haven't
what we
listed
bought.
these guns yet, guys. They didn't list these guns.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to add, I feel like if I need to renounce my Russian citizenship, I will. I don't have a problem doing that. Like, if it's gonna.
No,
I
don't
don't
do that.
think
It might
things
be
are-
valuable. It might be
But, like,
valuable.
yeah.
But if things get bad enough, I'd have no moral qualms doing it. Like, I have no plans of using my Russian
We gotta get
passport.
staffers in there somehow.
I just.
Oh
like,
no.
my-
You're double
yeah.
agent territory.
Having
You have
an
it.
extra passport is one of the most valuable things.
I haven't
in the
bothered to
world.
update mine. Like, my old Russian passport says Jew in it. You have to realize that. Like, my old Russian passport says Jew in it.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, right. But like under like nationality, it could say Russian or it could say Jew. Mine says Jew. Right. Like I
So
have
with a
second
Russian
class citizen-
passport, you're not even Russian technically.
Yeah.
You're Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they don't consider you Russian. If
Under
you're Jewish.
nationality, it says Jew, or it could say Russian, right? Because like if my American passport says American under nationality, my
Yeah.
Russian
Right.
passport under nationality says Jew. But I also haven't updated mine since I was a child, so like I have no interest in using it. I just haven't gone through there has been no reason for me to go through the process to formally denounce. My uncle has had to denounce his Russian citizenship because he works for the U.S. government. My uncle actually helps makes the U.S. government make nuclear weapons.
I mean,
But that's why everybody
Who
on his
doesn't?
team, right? But it's like my uncle and everybody on his team. It's kind of funny. Like everybody else has had to do the same thing because everybody's foreign. They're all like nuclear physicists
mean,
from other
who
countries
doesn't-
that fled those countries.
who doesn't collect multiple passports? Just
That's
saying.
not something you want to brandish on the internet, by the way.
These
Just
are
saying.
both real and legal.
In
Is one
Minecraft.
of them the pork fest passport?
No, I have like 20 of those though.
Mine's expired. I haven't been out of the country since
I haven't been out of the
I
country
don't
since I
know,
was a kid.
2000. No.
No, so like I have like my Irish passport. Like I am considering going back to Ireland just to vote in an election
Hmm.
next year.
What
Because they're-
election is that?
They're voting on joining NATO.
Oh,
But
And
why?
I
that sucks.
Yeah, just to vote against that.
Yeah.
Like for
How long
no
do you
other
have to
reason.
live there before you're allowed to vote?
I'm a lifelong citizen. Like I don't need to live there to vote. I am registered to vote in Downs. I just haven't voted in 8 years.
How come you're a citizen of Ireland? Do you have family from there? Or
My dad's from Ireland.
okay.
No, we were actually making fun of my sister. My sister decided she was going to go get a 23andMe.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I wanted to know our heritage. And me and my dad are like, why would you waste $100? It's like, she's like, well, I want to know where we're from. Like, I can tell you where we're from. Mom's from Sicily, and you've been to a castle in Ireland that has a tapestry on it that has your lineage for the past 1,500 years woven into it. Like, we know exactly where you're from. And she's like, well, it could be wrong. I'm like,
And
you're
then
gonna,
she found out she was adopted.
I'm like,
that-
I'm like, you're gonna open that and you're gonna see that you're 50% Italian and 50% Irish. And she's like, you're probably wrong. And she opens it. It's sure enough, it's 50% Irish, 48% Italian, 2% Portuguese. She's like, see, I'm like, that's just dark Italian.
Yeah. Dark Italian.
That's just a toasted Italian. Is what
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, well, some Sicilians are part black a little bit, right? So, for real, part
Are
black.
they? Is that?
You're
oh, I was
completely
thinking-
black now after I gave you my black card.
Yes, I'm Black Lives Matter and all of that too.
Did you see the post that somebody posted that said Ukrainian lives don't matter until Black Lives Matter?
I saw
But I
that.
thought it was satire. You know?
Yeah, was it real?
That's what I was
Who
wondering.
knows anymore? Like
Yeah.
Here's the
at this
thing,
point, you just have
I-
to assume they're serious until they tell you they're not.
that coming
Because
from the
everything
left,
is so stupid.
nobody questioned.
Of
Like, if
course.
it was satire, like, it's blurring that line really good.
Do you know there's
The
an account
entire
on Twitter
left is
called Not the
satire.
Bee, right?
Mhm.
It's like just like it seems like it's something that the Babylon Bee would post, but it was actually meant genuinely. So
I think are they part of the Babylon Bee though, where they actually post real news though instead of their
I don't know.
satire stuff,
That's
or
not.
are
the
they
Bee.
not part of it?
yeah. I don't know if Not the Bee is part of the Bee.
Are they or are they? They're not.
I don't know.
I think
Like
they
the
are, but
account
maybe not.
called Not the Bee.
Yeah, I don't know if they. I know, but I wonder if they're just like.
That's such a
Sicilians are
great
fond of
description.
scientific
That's
facts
such a
and
great
dip.
description of me right there. Blonde Italians mixed with Africans.
Nice. Have you
Speaking
guys
of which-
started 23andMe?
I
No.
did because I actually am adopted,
Ah.
and I wanted to know.
That is
So-
legitimately the only reason a white person would have to do 23andMe. In my
I
opinion,
mean,
if you're adopted.
I would be really
Like,
curious.
honestly, like,
because like most of my family has been wiped out in different parts of Eastern Europe.
Sure.
Yeah,
but-
my last name is Polish, and I'm mostly Polish. But my great grandpa spoke fluent Polish and then died in a government jail, right? So like I don't know where my family was because most of my family got wiped out. And it's like, yeah, you're an Eastern European mutt with a Polish last name, but we don't know why, right?
well,
Like,
for you, I'd say, 'cause
God damn.
I'd say like a Jew, sure,
Yeah.
because they've been wiped out all over the fucking world and like kept getting shipped around. So it's a curiosity. But like most white people like myself, I'm like, honestly, who the fuck cares? Like,
yeah.
Well, if we're just gonna,
Yeah.
I mean, why would anybody then? Why should it just be limited to white people?
well, I mean, so with black people, there's like it can tell you like at what point your some of the tests can tell you like at what point your lineage diverged from Africa, so you can know when your family came over from the U.S. and shit like that, and like whether or not your family was actually slaves in the U.S. or if you were descended from Africans
It's
who
funny
were
when
free
you
in
say
Central
that.
America.
Because my lineage,
There she
even
is.
though I
There's D.
hey dude, oh
Sorry.
You're good. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, can you hear me? I've never used these headphones on anything like this before. Okay.
mhm.
Yeah, you sound great. Welcome. Welcome to the party.
I just want to take a second to honor all the black folk who ain't black anymore because they didn't vote for Joe Biden.
Pour one
Oh.
out.
What about the
Cheers.
Asian people
Yeah.
who are just white now?
Yeah, them too.
Shout out.
See, this is the question I always had though, was like, one, how black is black, first off, and like if it comes to like the whole reparations argument, like what's the cutoff for that? Because nobody will ever answer me because they don't want to answer. You know, what if I can trace which I can trace my lineage and my sub-Saharan African ancestry back to slave times? What if I could do that and show you that actually, yes, I am descended from slaves, because from what I understand, I am. And but I'm obviously very, very white. So
Yeah, so what happened?
huh?
So it's like, yeah, it's like, what happened?
Extra sunlight.
I wonder where we draw the line, because they say,
Right.
oh, well, black people that weren't descended from slaves. I mean, if you came over from, I don't know, fucking Nigeria or something 3 years ago, you should be entitled to reparations, but not somebody who's white passing, whose, ancestors were slaves. So it doesn't, I mean, that's the thing, is nobody can ever tell me where they're going to draw the line for that.
What
If
about
you want to get
Um,
real
tribal
convoluted with it,
leaders?
what about Irish people who came over in the Civil War and were immediately impressed into slavery and forced servitude as Irish people? What about Italians who fled as refugees in the early 1900s and were impressed into forced domestic servitude?
Japanese?
Right. Like, to me is like the whole like oppression Olympics bullshit, and like I just look at like
Yeah, I'm over
ancestry
this.
tests as just trying to justify oppression Olympics and give everyone a stake in the matter instead of just admitting that everyone's been oppressed.
We're all
somewhere down
pieces
the
of
line.
shit. Let's just
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about we just all keep our money to ourselves? Like, that'd
Right.
be fine.
Great
Right.
start. Let's start there. And like the Native Americans, like people like they got the worst end of the stick. Bullshit. They got tax-free land.
Yep.
Like, like those reservations
full
are
control.
tax-free, full control, and the feds can't step foot on them. Like, I'll take that deal any day of the week.
Yeah. Why can't I have my land that I pay for and not have to pay off, the Gestapo to be able to live here?
Yeah.
Because you're white.
I identify as red.
Well, I'm Native American also. But
I'm
not
turning
enough
red.
matters.
I'm part of it.
Yeah.
Too, actually.
I'm also Ashkenazi Jewish. I'm Italian, Irish. I'm a little poo-poo platter.
I've seen
Right,
different
so-
shades of tea.
It is pretty weird to move here and just be white, because I kind of like I know it sounds really weird and dramatic, and like, but growing up in Russia, like, you have to realize, growing up in Russia in the 90s, my family tried to hide from my cousin that we're Jews, and my cousin overheard, because he learned as a kid that Jews are these evil, bad people, and nobody in my family told him we're Jewish.
Kitty.
And then he overheard his parents talking about it, and he just had a full mental breakdown.
Oh,
and so
okay.
when I was young, my mom, as far as I can remember, my mom just pounded it into me, like, you're a Jew, you're a different race, nobody likes your race, you have to live with this is what you are, you're not white, you're not Russian, you're an unclean race, and you have to deal with this for all of your life, and I want you to do it now, because I don't want it to come as a shock later, right? And then I move here, and I'm just white, like right?
And nobody
and
cares.
Well, yeah, because
like,
in Europe,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're
and like,
German, you're
and
Italian,
also like
you're
my mom,
French.
yeah. Like,
You know,
and
but-
my mom kept telling me you're mixed, and she was saying like, your dad isn't, but I am, and you're mixed, and she was pointing out all of these like different mixed race babies, be like, well, look at how cute they are, and you're mixed race too. Like, I genuinely grew up believing I'm mixed, because in Russia, Jew and Russian was mixed.
Well,
And
okay,
then
this
I'm like, I'm just
this
white
is
now.
a little confusing then, unless
Yeah.
this has changed, because if we're
Yeah.
going off of your passport and what it says as
Yeah.
Jew, and that like Russia actually segregates those two populations instead
does.
of just Russian or American like we do. What's up with everybody going, oh well, there's all these, I mean, because that seems a little racist to me.
But it is.
Yeah.
Right?
So then, and so they obviously are segregating Jews. So why the rhetoric about the Nazis in Ukraine? That just, I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
But it's
None
like,
of this makes sense.
but
Pop in
like,
whenever, D, by the way.
yeah.
So Nazis,
I'll be right
I
back.
think the word
Yeah.
Nazi has lost all fucking meaning in the last.
Well, no,
80
I'm talking
years.
about people that fly.
Yeah, the flag,
you
flag.
know,
Yeah.
those people, like,
Right. Well, how many of those people fly that flag and it's lost all meaning and they're just perverting the meaning of it from 80 years ago? Like, it's gone from being like just a German nationalist to an all around white supremacist to,
German
Just-
socialist national.
yeah, to just like anti authoritarian freaking deadbeats who haven't read a book.
White trash, yeah. I mean,
But also, like, the people that fly the flag in Russia are different than the people that fly the flag in the Ukraine.
And they're different than the people that fly the flag in Maine, who are different than the ones who fly it in Alabama. It's like,
Alabama.
But yeah, it's weird to just be white now.
Welcome to the club.
it is
Yeah.
weird to be white.
Well, I ain't black anymore, so
Like, we have the
Here.
most privilege, but we get blamed for everything.
How is your day going, Dee?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. Not really doing much today, except for this.
Nice.
Shit. I'm getting
enjoying your
attacked.
whiteness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob.
enjoying my whiteness.
this stream is not diverse at all.
Thanks for being my token black guy Hex.
I think we're probably all mixed, but we're
What are
like,
you talking
I
about?
am. I'm actually part Native American. And
Yeah.
at some point, I had some German in me, but
Well, I think I am
most
whiter
white
than
black to most people.
I am whiter than Elizabeth Warren when you break it down. So I have
Less white than
zero.
I'm redder than
Warren.
she is.
Yeah, I have 100. I have 1024th Native American.
That was absolutely hilarious that Trump actually got to troll her
Yeah.
into taking her a test just to show that nothing.
But then nothing happened to her. Like nobody.
No one
No.
punished her for
Anything.
actually
Does whatever the
happened.
fuck
committing
she
crimes.
wants.
She literally lied on forms, and nothing
Fraud.
happened.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Yep.
Rest in
Well,
peace,
hey,
George
so
Carlin.
lying on those forms for college scholarships is meaningless. It means nothing. On the State Bar Association, who gives a shit? That's on the state to check up on it, and they didn't. And so I have no qualms with anyone
They could
lying
still
to the state.
disbar her.
Yeah, at this point, that accomplishes nothing because she's a senator, not a lawyer.
Can't fall back on anything.
She doesn't need to. She's
Why
been
not?
insider trading.
It
for 12
also
years
proves
as a
that
US
being a
senator.
minority gives
That's
you.
what I was
That's
gonna
that the Ibram Kendi thing where it's like, if people lie to be minority to get into college, and it's like, yeah, because they have
How
a
is
upper
that
That
hand.
shows that there's an unfavorable bias.
Encourage people to lie. When I was in college,
Oh,
like at the end of the year, my freshman year, they sent out
He
here's
talks
all the
so much.
scholarships you can apply for, and there was one scholarship, and I'm sitting there looking at it. It's like it was very, very specifically for Native American women. Those were the only ones eligible for this scholarship, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I am neither of those things, but this is a $5,000 scholarship.
Yeah.
And I go to a school with 1,200 underground students, and only 61 of them are women. It's a military school. It's all white. We have 3 black kids and no Native Americans. I'm like, I'm going to apply for this scholarship. I got the scholarship.
That's amazing.
Like, I was the only applicant for the scholarship.
This seems like it's from a sitcom or like from a comedy movie, but it's real life.
Like, I encourage
Crazy
people to lie on
irony.
government documents. There's no crime in lying to the state.
Yeah. Except if they catch you and then you're
And they
in
come
trouble.
Yeah.
your dog.
Yeah,
And you might have to
you
pay
talk
it
you
back.
talk too much. That's what you're doing right now.
Right, you really.
No, hey, if I admit everything, I can't be canceled for it later.
It's shut the fuck up
That is
Sunday
true.
is what it
They can
is.
cage you for it.
Shut the fuck up Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to shut the fuck up every day.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's an everyday thing, but you know.
I feel like I'm not represented by a goon flag in the background.
Oh, sorry.
I live my life with I'm going to be as open and honest about everything and anything because I have nothing to lose. I am in my 30s. I'm single. I have no kids. The only person in the world that relies on me is this needy and spoiled cat. So like if I can set precedent in a way that only harms me, I might as well fucking do it. And like I take that inspiration from Carla Garrick, and she's a very good friend of mine, former president of the Free State Project. She was a South African refugee to the US. And like she was a former anti-apartheid activist in South Africa as a white woman who ended up coming to the US on a green card lottery, and now she's a lawyer. She got arrested like a decade ago for filming cops in New Hampshire, and they charged her with wiretapping. And then when they got to
How?
when it got to court, her and her lawyer were fighting it in court, and the state was like, we're not going to win this. Fuck. And the state moved to dismiss the charges. And her lawyer and her stood up and objected to dismissing the charges. And the judge was just like, what? Like, you're objecting to them dropping the case against you? And her answer was like, yes, we're setting precedent and we're taking this all the way to federal court. And now Garrick v. Bagan is cited as district court precedent that says it's unconstitutional to prohibit somebody from filming a cop in public because she was willing to go down on it and fall on the sword by being open and honest.
Shout out to her.
Yeah. So yeah, I will fucking never lie about the things that I disagree with the government on whether or not they should be legal.
Yeah.
Now, if I have kids, that might change.
Yeah,
We'll
right.
see.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel like I don't have kids. I have plans that depend on me. That's it, right? But like I I have people that love me, and that would, right? Or maybe I'm a coward. I'm just using it as an excuse, right? That could totally be true. But because I have my mom, I have my cousin, I have my aunt, I have my nephew, I have my half sister. Like there are people that love me, and I feel like I have to stay alive for those people, for better, for worse. And if I had kids, it would be like a million times more than that, right?
That's
Sort of
probably
like
the only reason I'm here,
Yeah.
honestly. Dee, do you have kids?
Yeah, I do. Well, I have one
Okay.
kid and one grandkid.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a gilf.
Does anybody else
Grandkid.
have kids?
I thought you were like 30.
Is it just me and Dee with kids?
Yeah, Dee,
Yeah.
I'm really surprised you have a grandchild.
Yeah, true.
I thought you were like 30.
Yeah,
No.
same.
Suck my dick, Forbes.
It's something they put in the Liberty water that we all look younger than we actually are.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, I'm still in my 20s, so.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty
Aw.
funny actually. I was at the pharmacy earlier this week, and the lady kept saying she couldn't find me in the system, and I was like, I've been coming to the same pharmacy for a while. Like, I'm definitely in there. You have my prescriptions. And she's like, okay, tell me all your information again. So she had me tell her again. She was putting my birthday in as in the 90s instead of in the 80s. I was like, oh, that's great. Like, I'm 10 years younger than I really am.
I feel like all my life, well, all my life to like 25, 26, people will always guess older,
Me
right?
too.
And then now people guess younger. I'm like, are you just being nice, or did I like even out? You know?
Yeah, I think I looked
But-
old when I was young, and now I just stagnated for a long time.
Like
Yeah,
an
Or
same.
we just got better at putting on makeup.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Uh,
I don't know. I was buying booze at like 14, and it was fine.
yeah, right.
I get carded more now than I did when I was a teenager.
I
Same.
never got
Same.
carded. The first time I ever got carded was on my 21st birthday.
Really?
And it was just because I went out to a bar with all my friends. And at this bar, I had been on a first name basis with the bartender for 3 years at this point. It was right near my college. And she'd been serving me for 3 years, no problem. She knew it was my birthday. She thought I was turning 25. And then my friend stumbles up to the bar drunk. And she's like, Teresa, get Justin a shot. It's his 21st birthday. And the bartender just stares at me. She's like, I need to see your ID. I'm like, you don't want to do this, Teresa. And then she kicked me out of the bar.
Why? Because you were of age to drink, and she was
For
stupid
lying
about
to
it.
her for 3 years.
She could have just asked for your fucking ID.
That's her mistake. It is her.
She
It
used
is
the
her.
fake one.
It's on her.
You
Technically.
That's funny. I
did use
think
the
the
fake
first
one, didn't
time-
you?
No, I never gave her a fake ID. Nothing. I always looked older. Like, I'm only 32, and people assume I'm in my 40s all the time.
I
I
can't
think
wait
for
till
guys,
40.
they stay the same longer too. I feel like women older faster.
Whereas,
don't
like, my
think it will.
mom, I went to a Patriots game with my mom a couple years ago, and everyone thought we were siblings.
Damn.
But your mom did have you super young, didn't she?
Yeah, she's only 48 and complains that she doesn't have grandkids.
Get on it, Justin. Come on.
I told her to complain to my sister. I'm like, she's like,
Yeah, she has
she's
more
your-
control over it. Like,
I'm
she
like,
can talk
I'm like, she's your best bet. Like, I do stupid shit and spend I care more about drugs than relationships and having a good time. And my little brother's gayer than fucking Clay Aiken. So good luck.
Too funny. We should get in conspiracy talk. I think we're ready for some conspiracies.
Which
I
one
don't
we want to
know.
talk about first?
I don't know. You can choose one if you want. 'cause
Bush
you were
didn't
like,
Me?
yeah, because you were like,
Yeah, you're
I
starting.
want to know what Dee wants to talk about.
No, that's too soon.
I'm putting you on the spot, Dee.
I don't know what to talk about. I'm not good at deciding things at all.
Dee, just overall, I appreciate your deep dives and all your threads that you've done over the years. Like, I appreciate it so much.
I just realized I was on mute the entire time.
Oh shit! Well, we saw you hanging
Were you
something
talking?
up back there.
I was timing in here and there.
Oh,
What
why
did
are
you
they
hang up back
ignoring me?
there?
Oh man.
I had to join in.
I don't know.
Yeah, what is that?
It's
Is
just
it
a
just
black
a black
flag of the
flag?
United States. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It just means.
I got my
British.
Beavis flag. Oh, wrong way. My Beavis flag.
Yeah.
Are you afraid?
That's a great one.
I love that one. And then my gang flag. So that's all I have. I have a pirate flag, but I'm saving it for when we commandeer a boat.
That's good. That's a good thing
I
to
have a
say.
whole bunch of
Surrender the
tapestries,
booty.
but not really any other liberties or like moons and shit.
Oh, so who was that? They just said you were fire.
That's pretty much
Oh.
his name on Twitter too. I'm pretty sure.
What, D is fire?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, is that show me the chili dog titties, dude?
Yeah.
I just think that's so funny. I don't know what
I
does that
know.
even mean.
Show me how the titties fart, girl. Oh, thank God for Twitter for that shit. Like
somebody messaged.
Yeah, somebody pick a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, what conspiracy theory?
Where's our super chat people?
I can't do super chats, but yeah, everyone texting.
Chat,
everyone following. Comments. Yeah, comment some conspiracy theories.
I'll go tell them.
Joe Rogan.
My favorite conspiracy theory ever is that Alex Jones is a agent of the Illuminati in the deep state who was sent to complain about them in the most ludicrous fashion possible, just to convince people that it was impossible. I
wouldn't be surprised if that was true, honestly.
I don't think so.
Because he keeps getting proven right. Like,
yeah.
But
I go back and forth with that one. I don't want to believe it, but I also don't think it's like too far outside of the realm of possibility.
I mean, didn't he call the fact that there was going to be a war in February, like last year?
Yeah, but like, to be honest, there's like 7 wars happening right now. Like,
it's hard to know how much of it is connections that he's made over the years, and so he has like actual insider information, or if he's just like some kind of plant to make people look crazy.
The crazy part is, like, the one conspiracy that Alex Jones got the most shit for and made fun of the most for was the one he was closest to being right about, and that was the gay frogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that one.
Because the whole time he was actually citing a UCLA study about how the runoff was affecting the frogs' hormones.
Well, that's the thing is, like, people think he's crazy. And I'm like, well, you have to take Alex Jones with a grain of salt, and you have to know how to listen to him. When you pay attention to just the articles that he shares, like, because these are real world articles from popular sources. And so look at that, because that's the thing is people are he just takes all the pieces and puts them together. Now, he does exaggerate from time to time. Like when he goes off on his little rants and stuff, he makes up numbers and things, but it's like, don't listen to when he's just making up numbers. Listen and read the articles that he's posting, because then it's like he's just putting the pieces together for all that, because you'll have Washington Post put up a little story about something, and then the New York Times put up something that's like a second part of that puzzle. And so it's like, unless you put all that together, then you have no idea what's happening, especially if you only read the New York Times or you only read the Washington Post.
A big part of it with him too that's always bothered me, like the same thing. He has a lot of valid information, but he uses very colorful language, and I think that freaks people out and scares people off and makes them think he's crazy, like they're turning the freaking frogs gay, or they're eating babies, or they're the spawn of Satan, instead of just being like, dude, they're fucking evil. It's like, it's okay to just say Hillary Clinton's evil. You don't need to say she's fucking the devil in the forest at Bohemian Grove. Like, we understand that she's evil. If you just said that, maybe more people would listen.
Did y'all see what Elon did yesterday?
The Starlink thing?
The Starlink thing?
Guy turned the internet back on.
Yeah.
I don't like that one person has that much control over the internet. That bothers me.
He doesn't
Because
have that
what
much
are they going to
control
do?
over it.
Like, if he gets to the point, see, this is another conspiracy theory, which isn't really conspiracy. I don't know. But it's like, okay, so he's going to he's developing this Starlink thing. So are they going to end up pushing us all towards that? Because then we wouldn't have to worry about the
It's not fast enough.
pollution of running actual phone lines and things like that. So they'll push us to this. Everybody has to use this
fiber
internet.
and light is still far faster than a SATCOM system. Period.
Honestly, I think it's
Do they
probably
care?
going to go to something like this. Will maybe some kind of guy. Did anybody watch Silicon Valley?
I mean, I've watched clips of Silicon Valley where like they
Okay,
make
well, part
the
of the
greatest
whole
dick
deal
joke ever.
in that show is that the main character is basically trying to make a decentralized internet, like a mesh network, like what they do in Hong Kong and stuff when the government shuts them down. And I think eventually that's probably what we're going to go to. And I think that is probably a big part of, besides fucking digital currency and all the other shit they're planning to use it for to trick us.
Well,
big part of all this like crypto stuff that's coming out right now, and like how to do mesh network, how to do decentralized this, how to do that. This is going to be totally private. You really want this?
Until the
You
government
don't.
just takes it over.
I don't know.
There was a show.
that's what I'm.
I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it was a TV show. It was on Netflix for a bit, and I binged the whole thing. It was incredible, and it was about this girl from like little Haiti in Miami, like, and she was like a Cuban girl who teamed up with like a Haitian gangster and a corrupt banker to try and start a company with laundered money to build a parallel encrypted decentralized internet using crypto. And then it turned into like the CIA and the NSA trying to take her down and assassinate her because they're like, no, that's too dangerous.
We must control it.
Too dangerous. That's what they're doing.
Was it
So
called
it's too dangerous
Startup?
for you to
Justin?
have
Yes,
access
Startup. Yeah, it was a great show.
to it. I don't watch it.
I didn't watch Silicon Valley because like I grew up in the Bay Area, so it's just like it's too
I
close
do
to
too.
home. You know?
Now they're just taking over Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, LA's going to Austin, isn't it? Or
Well,
California.
that's what I was concerned about, and where I was going with that was if they create a centralized internet like Starlink, then it will be much easier for them to control the passports. Because guess what? Your internet's shut off now. You've lost your privileges.
Yeah.
Kind
No,
of. thing.
Well, and
everyone-
all of these digital ID things are set up to be like.
Everyone is
Oh,
celebrating
Dee,
what
did you
Elon
watch
did.
that Plandopolis thing I sent you?
Yes, I did.
It's terrifying, isn't it? Did you
Yeah,
see
I
what year
remember
was
when
from?
it came out like a year ago.
Oh no,
and,
it's from like 2012.
Was it? Okay, I think I first saw it about a year ago, or maybe two. It was probably right around the beginning of the pandemic. It's really
Did you
weird
look
for
up?
me. I feel like 2020 is missing when I say things. I'm like, oh, last year when blah blah blah. I'm like, fuck, that was 2 years ago. Like,
Yeah, we lost 2 whole years of our lives. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. We're still in the 2020
Suspended
mindset.
in there, arrested.
So
like,
whenever I saw
yeah.
that shit, I was like, that's really freaky. And then I was actually talking to somebody recently, and it reminded me of that. And then I couldn't remember what it was called, and I was like scrolling through all my YouTube shit, and I'm like, I'm never gonna find this fucking thing.
It took
And
me a
then you
while
sent
to
it
do
to me, and it
too.
was like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hate losing stuff
Yeah.
on Twitter feed.
If you guys haven't seen it, if it's on YouTube, look up Plandopolis. Look for the video that's like 12 minutes long. Because the
Yeah, I
first one
actually
usually
have it
that it'll
still from
pop up
yesterday.
is because it's 4 different scenarios. It's put together by Forum for the Future, which is part of like Agenda 2030, the UN. You can go onto their website and see all of the businesses and people that they're partnered with. It's basically the World Economic, like a wing of the World Economic Forum or something like to that effect. If somebody wants to do a deeper dive into it, by all means, I just kind of scrolled it for a few minutes. But it
Yeah.
follows this character named V. Is it V? And it's 4 different scenarios and what happens with the world and like their living conditions. And you can tell that like she gets more kind of disheveled and run down as these scenarios delve further into like, I don't know, more self-reliance. When it's super government controlled and everything, she seems happier. But she even goes, we may not get right now, but we're better off than most. And she was like happy about it.
Weird
And
stuff. Yeah.
it's really sick. It's all animated. Go watch
Like,
it. It's called
Oh, we might not
Plandopolis.
have meat today. Like some weird shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about
it is.
the UN
It's
Agenda
like
2030.
you watch, like, it feels like you're watching an episode of Black Mirror, but these are real people that put this out, and this is what they want to do to
Well,
you.
and they think it's good. Like they think it looks good. Like that
Yeah,
Yuval
yeah.
guy from the fucking WEF.
Yeah.
That guy freaks me out because every time I post a video from him, I get multiple people underneath me that are like, well, it kind of sounds like he's warning about it. And I was like, oh, you're fucking like he's
No.
floating this shit out there. He's telling you that this is what's gonna happen. Maybe it's warning to you, but he's not saying it like it's a bad thing. This is what he wants to happen, and it's almost more like it's an inevitable thing. We're all gonna be digital. We're all gonna have a fucking chip to scan into our own house, and it'll be great because
Yeah, and they
people
talk
lose
about
their
it all.
keys. Like the most fucking stupid shit I've ever
They write books
seen.
about it, you idiots.
I
Yeah.
know.
They tell you what they're going to do. They want to reduce the world population because they think you're gross. Like,
Yeah.
they just need enough of you to serve them. Like,
Okay, so I have a conspiracy that I made up.
oh yeah,
Sure.
okay, yeah. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Tell yours, and then I'll tell.
So
mine.
I do this one. I do a poll about it. I've been doing it, like ever since about 6 months after the pandemic started. I guess was when I first started thinking about it. If what has been COVID so far is purposefully not that bad, so that we are like, oh fuck you, it's just a cold, but then they release something that's actually really bad, and then also, it doesn't really make sense to kill all the obedient people with injections. So, are the injections going to protect from what they're going to release later?
Yeah, that's one of the theories I had on it. I was like, there's 3 possible reasons for the, let's say the vodka, because we can't say it or we'll totally get kicked off of here. It's either because we all know that it does nothing except make people sick. It protects against nothing. And so it's either designed to kill people, it's designed to, they're either testing compliance.
Well, there's a lot of reasons why it
Well,
could be.
even if they're just testing compliance and it's just a placebo, the very fact that they kicked everyone out of the military who didn't get it, it's now looking like that's a life-saving decision.
That's been a huge concern for me, that
so
they're kicking out
either to
anybody
test
that
compliance,
questions.
it's either to purposefully make people sick, or it's to protect them from something else.
I wish they'd fucking release it
or
already. If they have
you
to
wanna
release
get-
something, just let's fucking do it, for Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
basically.
Rip the
You want to
bandage
go
off
really
the
crazy with it
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
go
no.
the
Infect me already.
graphene route.
But if being unvaccinated means you can't be drafted now, it looks like that was a life-saving decision. So,
Right.
Just a bunch of sick people going over there because they all gather together and then they all get a cold and die because they've all had their immune system shot.
that was one of the weirdest tweets. Like, aside from the Ukrainian lives don't matter till Black Lives Matter, another leftist tweet I saw was
I didn't see that one.
there
Oh my
was-
god.
Draft all the unvaccinated.
No, draft all the unvaccinated, whatever. But somebody was bitching and complaining about how awful it is that only 35% of Ukrainians are vaccinated.
Oh yeah, I saw that
and
dumb
2%
shit.
I also
are
thought it was
boosted,
satire.
and they're being forced to huddle inside without protection from the virus.
Yeah,
Well,
that
they're
I don't
literally
understand.
bombs.
Real.
This is the problem. Like, the left has gotten so fucking stupid that I believe these tweets could be real tweets from leftists.
Well, it's not that the left's gotten so stupid; it's that the people who aren't stupid have left the left.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like-
Forrest, mommy, I'm going to share my screen real quick because I just saw this on Twitter and I feel like everyone needs to see this.
Cue it up.
Now I'm intrigued.
Well, I'm just on my
Wow.
phone, so I have to like scoot in really far to see because I'm old.
I
And
put
I
it
have
on my
old baby eyes.
iPad so I could make sure I could see everybody, but now I can't turn it sideways.
Some 3 days ago.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah, I posted that.
Oklahoma is like in on it. California,
Texas,
like California,
Florida, all of
Nevada.
them are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
wow.
Texas?
not Kansas yet. We're still good.
Never New Hampshire. That would violate state law.
Ohio's
They don't
good,
care
but
about
let's be.
laws. My God.
No, but the government can't join a program like this because they passed a law to ban any kind of vaccine registry.
Well,
Nice.
we'll see how
A
long
lot
it
of
sticks.
No,
Because
information.
they could always
that's why it'll be
repeal the law.
voluntary for a minute.
Why are they?
Yeah.
Ugh,
I mean, that they set it all up this way. I mean, there's a reason that they tried to. I mean, you really want to tell me there was a change shortage during the pandemic? Like,
right.
why was there? We have the same amount of change. Nobody's spending money any more than they used to. So, why is there such a change shortage? Was it because they closed banks?
No, it's because they don't
During
want
the
you to use
pandemic,
cash.
there wasn't
Yeah,
enough in circulation.
They made it convenient to pay with cash, which is legal
Right.
tender, and there are places that don't even take cash.
Yeah, there are here
And it's
too.
like, how is that a thing?
Yep.
So you should start spending gold and silver.
I'll be right back.
They're hoarding gold and
Or they're trying to force people
Or
into
continue.
Bitcoin so they can crash it.
Oh, well, they can't crash gold.
Was that gold paper?
These, yeah,
These are the goldbacks, right?
yeah. This is 1/1000th of an ounce of gold, and this is 5 1/1000ths of an ounce of gold.
Nice. Looks like a golden ticket.
So how often can you use them for payment in New Hampshire, Justin?
If you go to Keene, you can use it at a couple local restaurants, Route 101 gift shop. If you go to Porkfest, you can use it at every single vendor. But
So what are the valuations of those two?
it is 1/1000th of an ounce of gold.
That's all. Okay, so I'm going to make me do math now. Thank you.
I guess. Like, if you go to goldback.com, it has the current price of each goldback.
yeah, fuck that.
So,
Come on, where are you?
no, but like usually, like, whenever I travel or go to festivals, I just keep my box of real money on me. So, like, I can spend real money if I have to. Like,
Yeah.
all my real money.
Pirate
I
money.
don't- I don't understand the whole Bitcoin thing, though. I mean, how is it any different than, I don't
Then
know.
fiat?
Because it's built on a code that's unfungible, that is circulating in public, that can't be changed without changing everyone's.
Yeah, it's the decentralized nature of the ledger and the fact that the ledger is immutable.
Yep.
Whereas, like with Federal Reserve dollars, the ledger is totally mutable. The Federal
Okay.
Reserve can go in and say, this bank has this much and this bank has this much. We changed it on you.
And all can you do by just saying they have it now?
Yeah.
But it changes value so quickly.
Yeah, no,
That's
that
Yeah.
is a
trading
problem.
it.
That's a problem with crypto. And one of the problems with crypto is the fact that normal people got involved in crypto, and the market price on crypto is being dictated not by its utilization or the technology, but based off people trying to make money and invest in it like an investment rather than using the technology as a currency, because people are fucking stupid.
Well, wouldn't that be a giant flaw?
Oh, I
In
think
it,
it's a giant
though?
flaw. Go and talk to a Bitcoin maximalist and like, this is much better, because they only actually value their investment in terms of US dollars. I value my investment in terms of in terms of the number of Bitcoin I have, because I think in long term, much longer term, that'll be like, I'll be able to have discussions about, I'll give you this much Bitcoin for the house instead of this many dollars.
Okay, but how would that, I mean, but you still have to pay taxes on that because it still needs to be
Only when it's realized.
reported. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, okay, if you lose internet, what happens? Okay,
Yeah,
they
no,
build those
Huge flaw.
fancy
Huge flaw.
networks.
It's
Okay,
full of flaws.
It's a huge flaw, and that's why I also have
almost
gold
all
and
flaws.
silver.
It's
Yeah,
just
so
not.
there's
it's
no-
just not the U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
no upside Bitcoin then.
So the upside to Bitcoin, as long as we do live in a modern interconnected world where you have internet and electricity, you can do, and not necessarily with Bitcoin anymore, but with like Monero and Zcash and Bitcoin Cash and other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin has become rather centralized because there's only a couple companies that mine it now because it's so expensive to deal with because of the price.
Because the Federal Reserve Treasury is all about it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But the
banks
other
own it.
decentralized cryptocurrencies, like the benefit about them is the transfer. So I can instantly, seamlessly transfer any amount of funds from myself to somebody else on the other side of the globe without involving a third party like a government or a bank or the SWIFT system, and do so privately, securely, and untraceably with cryptocurrency. I cannot do that with fiat money. I cannot do that with gold or silver.
Untraceable. I can't they report on large amounts of Bitcoin that are moving? Like, isn't there?
Yeah,
How
but
would
they
you keep
can't
track
do
of
it.
that? Then there's got to be.
They-
It's got to be written
they-
down somewhere.
They cannot do it with Zcash or Bitcoin Cash's smart contracts or with Monero. Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency.
Right.
Does this not seem like, though, like an untraceable form of currency? Does that not seem like an amazing day for like traffickers and shit?
Oh
Because
yeah.
then they could just pass all their money through that,
Yep.
and nobody would be any the wiser.
Sure. Here's the thing: anything that benefits crime benefits humanity. Unfortunately.
No,
That's an
I
insightful
just-
quote.
I don't
Like-
know. It just seems like a waste of time and effort to me, because you trade American dollars for Bitcoin, and then when you cash it out, you get American dollars. It just seems like, I don't
if
know.
you do it that way,
It's
way,
weird.
and that all depends on your local economy, who's willing to accept it, who you work with. Like, I live in New Hampshire. I do a lot of work for people in my community, and a lot of my consulting work is paid in crypto. I do not ever touch US dollars, and then I can pay a lot of my bills here in New Hampshire in crypto. I can do about 80% of my expenses without touching US dollars.
And is that more beneficial to you?
Yes, because
Even
I'm not
though
paying
In
taxes.
2 weeks, maybe that $80 bill that you just paid, now you paid it with money that's worth like $600.
Sure, and
Yeah.
I just don't look back, because I live in the real time. Like, I look at the money I'm making as money I'm making then to pay the bills that I have then. If it goes up in value or down in value, like, I'm not putting 100% of everything I own into it. I only put what I can afford to lose or what I need to spend into
Okay.
it.
Well, okay. So then you would still have to do real time conversion. So say your rent is $600 a month or something.
Uh-huh.
So
Was that
you
low?
you don't have a pre-arranged thing where you're like, I'll pay you like half a Bitcoin every month, do you? You have
can.
to convert that $600 to Bitcoin at the time that you do the transaction.
It
Right?
depends. It depends. So one of my contracts, I did what I was working on for the past 2
Seems really
years.
confusing.
Yeah, one of the contracts I was doing for the past 2 years, the guy I was working for paid me 1 Ethereum per month. That was it. And when
That's
we
like
started,
something right now.
sure, but when we started that contract, it was like $300 for
Right.
a few hours of work a week. And
There's that meme
But-
that I always see where there was a Blizzard tournament that paid the last place guy or the last place people got like 25 Bitcoin
yeah,
from like back in 2010.
yeah. But it like my rent, sure, my landlord will take crypto, and the way that works with her is I text her and say, hey, I need a crypto address to send you rent, and she texts me back the amount of crypto for that month after she's done the calculation and whatnot to US dollars based on what she needs. But like, I have other transactions that I do where I'm buying this for you. What is the price in Bitcoin? And that stays the same, because people, again, I have the benefit of living in a very agorist and anarchist-centric community where people want to be off the grid and off the US dollar. And so we've started pricing things in cryptocurrency or silver or ounces.
That's really
of silver.
beautiful. That's awesome.
Like, I sold I was doing dinners at Porkfest last year, and I priced the dinner an ounce of silver. And if somebody wanted to pay me in dollars, they had to figure out how many dollars an ounce of silver was at the moment.
You made them do math. That's good. That's
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know. I think if it was
Skill.
a totally own independent system, it would make sense. But it's like, okay, she calculates how much Bitcoin you owe her, and then she has to go and pay the mortgage. So then she has to convert that back to US dollars. But if the between the time that she receives your payment and she pays the mortgage, what if the Bitcoin tanks and it's worth half?
Yeah,
so then she's totally fucked. It seems like
in her case,
it's just
the
a
reason
very
she's willing,
difficult and unnecessary thing to do.
difficult, no. Unnecessary, no. Risky, yes. And it's about risk avoidance and risk acceptance. And in my particular case, I believe the reason my landlord is willing to do it is because when I pay in crypto, she does not turn it into dollars. She pays the other bills out of other income and other dollars she has, and she's building her crypto portfolio and not cashing it out.
Well, that's convenient if you can afford it.
Correct. It's the only invest what you can afford to lose type of mentality.
Yeah, I would just rather not invest and risk losing anything and put my money in, I don't know,
but stocks are the
chickens
exact
and
same thing.
seed.
Same with a 401k. So,
yeah,
you know, you hope that the economy is going to expand so that when you invest in a 401k, it gains value over time. The same thing applies with Bitcoin. It's just a hedge.
Yeah, it's a hedge against the banks.
Correct.
Because they might have
we work too hard for our money to take risks with it like that, I suppose.
Sure, and that's a matter of priority and risk assessment that you're willing to take.
Well, it's not priority necessarily. We have to buy food. You know,
that is a priority. You have to buy food.
And you invest in like growing your food. You invest your money in like your future of food as well. So that's your
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suppose if you consider taking care of yourself as investing in some form of digital currency, then okay. But it seems like people need to be investing in, you know, ways to take care of themselves practically, versus just banking on some technological future.
That's exactly the thing of the stock market, though.
Yeah, I don't like the stock market either. I think it's bullshit.
I'm just going to throw this out here.
What's that?
Throw it out.
Bullets.
It's 5.56 round. Just saying, shit hits the fan. Ammo.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm stockpiling about 300 pounds of lead right now.
Yeah, precious metals.
We have lots of lead at our house. But our problem is we're trying to find, because we have several black powder rifles, and our problem is we're trying to find molds for it to make bullets.
Yeah,
we do. My husband, he collects lead, and we've got milk crates of it like stacked everywhere.
Stay strapped or get clapped. I mean, that's just
Sun Tzu, The Art of War.
What you've described is exactly prioritization in your investment. Like you prioritizing sustainability and taking care of your family. I have entirely different needs than you, and my prioritization is diversification and stability. Like I am not all in on crypto. I put some money into crypto. I work for some crypto. I spend some crypto. I also put some money into precious metals like gold and silver. I also put money into lead and brass as precious metals. I put money into US dollars and into euros and other investments as well as Roth IRA and a 401k. Like I am diversified and hedged against all possibilities. I can afford to do that. And my priorities are the diversification and stability of my funds long term, because I am comfortable and I don't have anyone that's relying on me to take care of them, feed them, and I can live this lifestyle. Not everyone can, which is why crypto absolutely is not for everyone, which is why investing in precious metals is not for everyone. Homesteading is not for everyone. Some people just don't have what it takes to homestead. So, like,
shut up.
I don't have what it takes to homestead. I have way bad ADHD and fucking motivation issues. I would never get up to take care of the plants. So.
Well, you kind of have to. I mean, if you rely on them for food, you have to. So, like, okay, what if we, just electricity fails to exist tomorrow? Are you going to be able to take care of yourself?
Yeah, well, in my particular case, I can do so because I have no one else relying on me. I have no other burden there. But I have made connections. I know where my skill sets are. I know what I can do to help others. And I've made connections where there are some people who live very close to me who do homestead, where I have a reserved plot
You can
on their
trade.
homestead to set up shop if shit goes to all hell, with very particular work that I can do for them to help their homestead run in exchange for a spot there and food. But it's
very
very
good
reliant
skill.
on my skill set being applicable to help.
A very good skill to get for the zombie apocalypse is learn to weld.
Like, I can hunt, I can clean, and I can cook, and those are very valuable skill sets.
You can
But
dig.
I can't grow plants, I can't farm. But my friend who runs a farm is more than willing to give me a spot on her farm if I can kill, clean, and cook.
That's where you put in, if you can put in. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, not everyone is prepared for those kind of scenarios or that kind of future, and that is a problem. And people should invest in becoming prepared for that.
At least get a skill that's marketable.
Yeah.
Or have a vagina.
That's a skill.
There you go.
This is why I'm
right
learning to take
now,
care of
right
myself,
before you
is
said that,
because
I was just looking for a
refuse
specific meme.
to have to fall back on that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Forrest Mommy's like, it's a skill.
Yeah.
I suppose if that's how you want to survive, but I refuse to let that happen, and I will eat my gun before that happens. I swear to God.
I'd be the entrepreneurial madame anyways. But, oh, Lordy. I hope my sister's not watching.
I hope my mom never sees these.
I don't think anybody I know has ever watched these. My husband won't even watch them.
Yeah,
So.
my boyfriend won't watch. Like, I feel like I tell my boyfriend so much, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I hear you talk enough. I don't need."
I have
watching talking.
I've been at parties. Like, we had a Halloween party at the Quill in Manchester, and some people, like a whole bunch of people, were visiting New Hampshire from out of state for a Free State Project event, and like came to this party. And I'm sitting there talking to somebody, and some like bright-eyed kid walks in. He's all nervous and excited to be in New Hampshire, and he just looks at me. Oh, are you Mr. O'Donnell from YouTube? I'm like, nope, and I just walked the fuck out. I'm not dealing with this right now.
Yeah, that's cool. There were people at Porkfest like, "You're Rod Birdie," and I'm like, "Yes, I am much nicer in real life than I see on the internet." You know, but it's like,
Wait, do people actually get excited to like?
yeah, like people at Porkfest are like, "You're Rod Birdie," and from Twitter, like people
Like you're like a micro celebrity kind of thing.
But I'm like, but why? Like, I'm not even that attractive. I'm just annoying and loud online.
So the worst one for me to ever happen at Porkfest is I'm just sitting on my site. I had taken a whole bunch of mushrooms. I'm like, it's gonna be a good day, and I'm tripping balls, and like I'm talking to aliens. I'm having a conversation with the squirrel. It's a good day, and then some like random dude from California walks up to me on my own campsite. He's like, "Oh, Mr. O'Donnell, Mr. O'Donnell." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? Like, this is weird." He's like, I was hoping you'd sign a copy of your book," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I didn't write a book."
You wrote a book?
Yeah, and this kid spent 20 minutes trying to convince me that I did in fact write a book. He had a copy of it. He'd like me to sign it. And I'm like, "Oh, I wrote a book."
Did you really? I don't know.
Yeah. But like I was
Pay
tripping so
attention.
hard that I'd forgotten like about reality.
You're like, no way, man. Oh, love it.
I don't know. I don't hold anybody in that high of regard that I'd be excited. I don't know. I guess
I think it's weird when people get excited.
yeah, because I'd be excited to like meet some of you guys because like you're my friends, you know, and like that's why I would get excited. But
I think
because you're who you are, because you're of your account on Twitter or something.
I think
I don't
that
know.
people that aren't actually your friends sometimes are your friends, and they're excited because they think you're. That sounds
You're
cut out a little.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Yeah, I said I think that sometimes the people that get really excited are excited because they also think that you're friends, and they're excited to see their friends. But I've had people that I don't even know who they are come up to me like that and act like we're friends.
We're not friends.
And yeah, I mean, I think You know, we all know who each other's are, but sometimes there's also other people that
I don't know. I don't know
maybe
who that
talk
is. I
or
don't know who that.
okay.
Just
Like, well,
random.
but all of you besides Forest Mommy, I've never had a in real life, not in real life, and like a voice conversation with.
Well, also like
Um,
you don't use your photo, and I think that's what it is too. Like we
I
talk to
do
each other
post
a couple
photos
times
of
a week,
myself. I post photos of myself though,
but
but
I
I
might
don't
not
use it for.
recognize who you are if you came up to me in real life.
I stick out like a sore thumb, so you know.
He's 6
'Cause
foot
you're black.
8. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, dude.
I forgot he was really tall.
No, honestly, like one of the biggest selling points for me myself about when I moved to New Hampshire and I'm like, this is amazing, was that like people stopped treating me different because like I was on the Libertarian National Committee, I was doing TV interviews and like I wrote my book and everything before I ever moved to New Hampshire. And like whenever I'd go to like Liberty events or anything, people would treat me differently, like, oh, it's him. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
And then like when I moved to New Hampshire, it's like, oh yeah, what's up? Everyone here is just so over the celebritarian bullshit that they, because there's so many people. Like I used to live down the street from Vin Armani, and like Pete Canona's, like everyone hated him here before he got canceled on Twitter.
Did
Like
he really get canceled though?
he got fired from his job.
Oh yeah, good.
I remember him when he was
Good
a
riddance.
gigolo. I watched that gigolo stuff. I loved it.
I remembered him when he seemed like a man that led his household. You know. Just
Well,
saying.
he
Masha's
like
got
bought
priorities.
in and like he bought in too hard on some stuff, and then I think then he rebranded, which that's like his eighth rebranding because he was a gigolo at one point, and that was his brand. So, is this meme on the screen? Did it pull up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I actually do.
Yep.
Right, but that makes sense. I feel like I will survive much longer fucking somebody than trying to fight. I'm sorry, like I
Oh,
can
no,
really
it's
pull
like-
dogs apart.
It's like me and Tactical told Sarah the other night when she was crying drunk about how am I going to survive in the apocalypse? You find a man. Like,
Yeah, she will.
You get terribly tactical to get on.
Yeah, I should send it to him. Need to hear more from D though.
No, I have to go pee. Actually, I was just.
Okay.
Be right
I have good news. We just crossed $9,000 in fundraising for the Jeremy Kaufman campaign.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I'm gonna
I
turn
bought
my
a
light off
beanie.
while I go
Yeah.
plug this one.
I'm very grateful to work for that campaign.
I'm grateful we can actually pay you, unlike most
Yeah.
libertarian campaigns.
Yeah.
I'm like almost like everything we have to do for fucking libertarianism. It's on our own pocket or for free.
Yeah.
So it's nice if you're actually getting paid.
Yeah.
I'll never vote again.
I now actually I now edit podcast clips for 3 different people / organizations, so that's made me happy. Feel like I left the world of marketing and well, for a blue collar job, and then marketing came back into my life, but in a space that I love, you know. So that makes me
Good.
happy.
Get it that
It's
way.
all
yeah.
it's all thanks to Justin.
It's not all thanks to me.
You're the one that like found me and told me, hey, can you do this? Like, yeah, sure.
It was mostly because like I didn't have the time or the bandwidth to do it
Yeah.
at all.
Supposedly there's just a big explosion in, was it Cherkasy?
Is that in Russia or Ukraine?
Sounds like it.
200 kilometers southeast of Kiev.
And is it real? If it
Yeah, I can't. I won't believe it.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
Where
how
are
I
all the
am, like-
videos coming out of people? Like they talk about all these fights and everything it has.
The videos
There's no
are on
video.
TikTok.
They're just
The videos
maybe
on
pictures.
TikTok.
right.
There's tons of video on TikTok. It's fucking wild.
I'm
Because
not
you have,
going on TikTok.
you have
So
Russian,
Not either.
you have
Communist
Russian and
China?
Ukrainian teenagers who are fighting and live streaming the firefights.
What?
It's absurd.
Are they blocking them on Twitter or something? Is that
Maybe, I don't know, but
I mean-
TikTok.
Or TikTok is the Chinese Communist Party, and that's how they're delivering the
TikTok is
propaganda.
owned by the Chi-Coms. I'll never get on that.
Well, that's the wild
Yeah.
part to me. Is like if the Chinese like have any kind of stake in this and supporting the Russians, how come all of the video on TikTok is them showing the Russians getting the shit kicked out of them?
I don't know, man.
propaganda? I don't know. You can just flood it.
I mean, how much of what Biden was saying coming into this entire thing was all lies and bullshit and deceit?
Probably all of it.
Yeah, exactly. We have no idea if all this is even real. I mean, we assume it is because there are people saying it is, but it could all still be a giant psyop, just like the pandemic.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, they've been controlling it, so they control it so hard, and they're so easy to see when they're going into these campaigns to get people on board with things. I mean, I know it's online and Twitter, and that's not the whole world, but you saw everybody all of a sudden was. I mean, there was the meme. All the NPCs are now Ukraine, putting the Ukraine flags in their shit, you know, and like.
Well, that's the thing that's like weird to me is like, I don't know. I feel like maybe this is the excuse they're using to usher in the passports. Like they're going to get us involved in this conflict so they can be like, whoa, 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 we shouldn't ever act like this again because we're going to end up killing each other. So let's be like, you know, we need to combine governments and things like that. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of what they're going to work on to get the one world government kind of thing going.
Sad.
But what do I know?
Move. No, I mean it makes sense. It's not like
It's that, or the nukes are gonna cross in the sky and we're all gonna vaporize.
Yeah, that too. You know, the sun rises at 9 o'clock at night. That kind of thing. Yay!
Hey, I have no bottle caps for that. Calm down.
You what?
I don't have enough bottle caps for that. Calm down. The nukes.
I dig the joke.
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. Sorry.
No worries. I cheer you with my caffeine jewel.
I've been sitting down here for too long, so I cracked the window.
I gotta order a melatonin vape.
And I'm home. I'm home alone, so I'm like, my husband won't know if I just air it out really well.
we won't tell. I won't tell Anya.
So the other day, Justin sent me a link to a caffeine vape, and my first response was like, "This will end so badly." No. And then, like a couple hours later, like, yeah, I ordered it, and now I ordered 12 more. So this is a
melatonin.
Vape.
Oh, caffeine.
They have a melatonin one too.
But who cares a bit about the melatonin vape? But there's a caffeine vape.
I don't think I could do that. I don't know. It would probably knock me out.
Yeah, do they have a cocaine vape? Because that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Can I convert these into the vape?
Be better at our systems, probably easier.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
I gotta do my taxes.
But that's totally legal. But weed isn't.
Yeah,
right.
Wait, here comes Justin.
You're in Colorado for us, mommy.
I know. I'm so spoiled.
Yeah, but isn't Delta 8 illegal there?
Oh, Delta 8
probably legal. There is probably some stupid law, that they made that.
But
Delta 8
I think it was maybe to prevent. I think there's a couple of states where Delta products, where marijuana is legal, but Delta products are illegal.
No, last time I went down to Boston, it was funny because I was vaping, and other people were smoking weed. And they're like, haha, we're smoking weed. You can't smoke weed in New Hampshire. It's illegal. And I'm like, you can't vape flavored vapes in Massachusetts. That's illegal.
Wait, is weed illegal in New Hampshire?
It's decriminalized. It's just not legal. But there's it's weird. There's a legalization bill that the governor is about to sign that'll make it legal, and libertarians are opposing it.
Why?
And I understand.
What pork is in it?
No, it's... You remember how I told you about our state liquor stores? They're
want to do state.
They're about to become the state liquor store and marijuana dispensary. And so the only people who will be legally allowed to sell weed is the state.
That's what sucks. Even out here, I've been trying. I tried to
help, but stick their fingers into
everything. Everything.
If they can take a cut, they'll do it.
And especially they can control the market.
So I hate them.
When it comes to like shit like weed, like I don't mind the government trying to regulate, tax, and capture weed with the legal market, because even when they do that, all they're doing is taking all of the consumer side risk out of the black market. But they're not getting rid of the black market, because anybody who was already comfortable doing business in the black market is going to continue to buy their cheaper weed from their dealer than their much more expensive weed from the state.
Just like California had.
Yeah. But in the meantime, now there's absolutely no risk to a person who wants to buy weed from their dealer because possessing it's not a crime anymore. All the risk is on the dealer, but that risk was already on the dealer to begin with, so they've accepted that risk.
Well, now the state's going to have a bigger say in the game, and so they're going to make more effort
I can't hear
curb
anything.
the black market.
Well, we can hear you.
We can hear
us now?
you. Can you hear
I
us?
can hear her.
Dee, you're on mute.
Oh, she's on mute. You're on mute.
How do I do this?
Let me put the thing
Wait,
up.
is she frozen?
There she
No,
is.
she's moving.
Can you hear us
There,
now?
there she is.
Are you there? You were on mute.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that was really weird. I couldn't hear anything.
Can you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ah, good.
Oh man, it's 4:30.
Well, let's go. Okay, hey Forrest, mommy, what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
I mean, right
Like,
now it's definitely the Great Reset stuff. That's
Mhm.
just on my mind. And I don't know if you guys started following. There's that one person that's just listing all the members that have ever been like involved with it, and like
No, I haven't seen that. Who is that?
it's like WEF Forum, I think. Let's see here.
How long till? Are they on Twitter?
Wait, the
Yeah.
WEF forum
How long
is
till they get banned?
listing all their members.
It's at members
Yeah, a lot of those
underscore
are getting
forum.
Oh, okay.
And they just been listing all the people, and I don't know. I mean, there's
Vladimir
cooler
Putin.
conspiracies like how the fuck did they build the pyramids and shit like that, but it's just that one's on my
That
mind.
requires more research than what I have.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah, those
haven't
do get
looked into
crazy.
those too much.
Did you ever share? You said you were going to share yours. I don't know if you shared it yet. Did you?
Oh yeah, because it's kind of coming true. I think it was on my old account, unfortunately, but I had put out this
RIP.
theory that if just going off of like what the WEF says and the Georgia Guidestones and things like that, that they want to limit. Okay, it's in my AirPod type, but I don't know which one. That they wanted to limit the the amount of people, the population, and I was like, yeah, because if they do that, then every beach will be a private beach. Every ski lodge will be a private ski lodge. They just need enough people to maintain their lifestyles. That's it. They just need a servant class. And so then what was it, like 3 weeks later, Jeff Bezos came out and said, yeah, they want to move all production, like all industry, to Mars because then the planet can be a vacation planet. Well, guess who's only going to be able to afford to travel to Earth? The rich people. So they just need enough people on Earth to run their fucking vacations. Like, it's so ridiculous.
That's so
These are
crazy to
different
think
violent
about.
Yeah.
There's an inherent fallacy in the Marvel, snap and kill off half the human population, because you do that randomly, and all of a sudden a nuclear power plant operator that had critical information in his head for the operation of the power plant goes missing. The entire society crashes because all those individuals that were specialized, even just a random selection of them, have disappeared. The entirety of society will collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's
so
so much
it wouldn't be all at once, though. It would be, it's kind of a slowly and over time kind of thing, and it's not just from one angle. It's
And robots.
the vodkas, it's unhealthy lifestyles, pushing insane birth control methods and things like that, and telling people that they shouldn't have children because it's bad for the environment.
Oh,
things
that's
like
already that is having massive consequences right now.
Exactly. Like, I think we're actually
watching
having,
about
like,
that.
this is last year, I think, was the first year that we actually didn't add people
Yeah, an actual reduction
to the
in
population.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why Elon came out and said, we got to start making kids because the entirety of the economy cannot survive if we have
no, because we've built up an economy to grow, and then it stagnates. Well, of course, they don't have to worry about that now, though, because how many businesses have we killed in the past 2 years? So there's fewer businesses that are there to pick up the slack of a shrinking.
No, there's lots of positions. I know personally in industry that there's lots of positions they can't fill because there's no one that they can fill them with.
Yes, but I'm talking about, like,
Like finding qualified
things like
engineers
that.
right now is pulling teeth.
Well, so it's not so much finding people; it's finding qualified people.
Yeah,
that
that's
they're
what I
having
mean.
an issue
People that
with.
you can actually put in those positions. You're not going to put someone who's burger flipping into an engineering position. You don't do
Don't you
that.
think if that was a real concern, they wouldn't have just suspended like 30% of the workforce?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that's what I'm
I mean,
saying,
it's
is it's
not,
like they
you might
purposefully.
feel like you guys are having a hard time finding things, or like you really are. That's not what's important to them.
Well, no, because they live in a bubble. They don't live in the real world.
Like,
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though, is like the amount of people that businesses that we've lost. I mean, it's so many.
What did he call us? Useless eaters?
Hmm?
Let me find it. That fucking you.
Who? Me?
No, not you. You
Oh,
ask.
I know they called us non-essential.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
pretty fucked
No, it's
up.
worse than that.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, and they closed down
Oh, I
even
think
the
it was
same.
Klaus that said useless eaters. He just calls us.
Oh, useless eaters.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing.
I'll be right back.
They demoralize an entire section of the population by just calling them, non-essential. I hated that. I was like, how the fuck dare you call me non-essential?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I own my own business. I pay my taxes. Fuck you. I'm essential. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I have family. Even if you're not, you're still essential. And it's just ridiculous. And then they, put all of this shit to make us even more unhealthy. And they're trying to kill us. It's that simple.
oh, my favorite non-essential was I was working as a consultant for Aetna and Harvard Pilgrim at the time, doing their case underwriting and making sure that the insurance claims got paid. And that was considered non-essential during a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the hospitals are freaking out asking why they weren't getting paid.
So I sell testing equipment into some pretty big places, and some of those are government facilities. And they had placed an order for some new technology to control some pretty big testing equipment. And then the government literally shut down California where that was getting made. They had the company, this facility had the company that was providing the equipment write them a letterhead stamped paper explaining why they were late on delivering. And I'm just like, because you shut down California.
Well, and it like with my situation, it wasn't even because my state shut down that much necessarily. I mean, we did for a while. But like I traveled for work. So my business was dependent on all like 9 other states and them staying open. So I had to close my business because I didn't see it as being viable anymore, because I could see what was happening. I could see that gas was going to go up and the dollar wasn't going to be worth as much, and people were having a hard time getting things. And in the industry that I was in, it like my stuff was kind of a secondary. I mean, when we were doing good and gas was cheap and everything like that, I was doing, my business was booming. But I knew that if things got a little bit tougher and money got tighter, that my stuff would kind of be pushed to the side. So I just knew that it wasn't going to be viable for at least a couple of years. So I had to give it up. And some people, I mean, they've given up everything to keep their businesses afloat.
Yeah.
And they're doing it on purpose. I mean, because even somebody like me who's semi-retarded could figure out that you close businesses down and you don't give people any recourse, that bad things are going to start happening. Just like,
or you make people stop
destroying
working and you give
the homeowners
market
market.
purpose.
Yeah, well, people get don't know what's the word,
That's where all the
disenfranchised or whatever.
all the mental anguish.
I've been real
But
disenfranchised this last 2 years. I
if
tell you
they
what.
cared about actually being able to pay for where they live, they would have instituted a mortgage moratorium as well, but they fucking didn't.
Correct.
So these people still that had renters still had to pay their mortgages. But guess what happens when they default on their loans because they're not getting their rent payments, which they use to pay the mortgages? Guess who swoops in and buys the fucking properties for pennies on the dollar? Yeah, BlackRock and the like. So that's exactly what they were doing. This was by design, and if you don't think it was, then you're stupid, and I'm sorry, you can't be helped.
Yeah.
Like
At this point,
yeah, that's what it comes down to. Is like, I can't. It just makes me so frustrated that people don't see it. But it doesn't matter because all I'm doing is screaming into the void. You know.
It's nice to scream and talk about it, though, isn't it? With
Yeah.
people we know.
I don't know.
Or is it worse? Does it make us worse?
It just makes, I don't know, makes me feel a bit more, I don't know, I can't think of the word. Not desperate, hopeless, maybe.
it's been frustrating
Because there's still such a large group of people that think that none of this is on purpose and they just got their messaging wrong a little bit. And it's like, no, if they wanted to fix it, they would have started fixing it. Like they just made an oops, but they didn't. They're still, and then there's people that are posting,
Who was it who came out saying they should pause mortgages and just take that time and add it on to the back end?
I don't remember.
The problem with
They
that,
can do that for some people.
the problem with that is like an eviction moratorium was bad because it was telling private landowners they no longer had control over their land.
Properties, yeah.
It was basically the greatest seizure of private property in history, the greatest act of eminent domain in history.
Yep.
A mortgage moratorium.
Nobody said a thing.
Yeah, a mortgage moratorium would be no different. It's then telling banks who have money tied up and invested in these properties that, right, yeah, fuck banks, I guess, but there's also private mortgages. There's also private lending. Like, I'm on the board of a nonprofit that just bought a $700,000 building for a community center, and it's all privately. We didn't get a bank loan. It's all private loans. They have a lien on the building, but it's a private loan. At what point, like everyone has, you can't say something stops unless you say everything stops. But no matter what you stop, people are going to suffer.
Yeah, isn't the bank like accepting some risk for the loan? Why there's interest?
The bank's accepting the risk because there's a collateral. If it's not paid, they can take the property to recover that risk.
Yeah, but we're like paying a little bit extra to them to.
Sure.
Yeah, for the privilege of using their money.
Generally speaking, you're actually not, because the rate of
that's true. It's usually less than inflation.
The rate of inflation for the past 20 years has outpaced the mortgage interest rates.
Yeah.
So like a mortgage is one of the best investments out there because the interest is lower than inflation.
Right.
Well, glad I picked up my house in 2019.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
And then refied it 4 months later to reduce it even more.
I didn't. With our house didn't cost that much, and it would have cost us thousands of dollars to refinance, and I just didn't see the point. I mean, we're like a third done with our loan already, if not more. And well, we've owned our house on St. Patrick's Day. It'll be 11 years. We've owned. But unfortunately, we do have an FHA loan, which I am not proud of, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing when I was 24 either.
No,
because they don't teach you that kind of shit in school. That's the thing, is they don't teach you about mortgage amortization, figuring out what a fucking loan is or how to apply for anything or, you know, how the credit system works. They don't teach you that in school because they don't want you to know. It's like the credit system. It's a fucking sham.
I'm a huge fan of people taking advantage of the government. And if the government's going to offer programs and you can take advantage of them to your personal benefit, do it. Because they've stolen enough from you.
Drain the bitch. It's time to drain the bitch.
If you need unemployment and shit, take the fucking money. Like, I'd rather have it go to you than get shipped over to somebody else, you know, another country.
Yeah.
They need to allow
because
a
they
Social
take
Security write-off.
billions and billions of dollars to do that, and we never see it.
I would love to
And-
get some of my taxes back. You know,
Yeah,
for
that would,
example, like
At this point,
they've
we're
already
never
been
gonna get
taken.
our
That could have
let
helped
me
out
out.
letting it back.
Yeah, let
well,
me
like-
not
Kansas-
opt in.
we
Well,
got
like-
ours. I filed on like a Wednesday, and we had our money deposited by Monday. It was
Wow.
fast this year. But I mean, I try to get in early because it does seem the earlier you get them done, you know, the faster you get
Right.
it back. And normally we would always get our federal money back before state. And it's been 3 weeks now, and I haven't seen or heard anything about the federal money.
Minus the
So
property
God
tax.
knows if we're
God
ever gonna
bless
get it.
Texas.
No, but like the FHA program is an incredible program to take advantage of, except they don't educate people on how to take advantage of it.
Mhm.
And like I got in an argument with a friend. He was buying a house. I'm like, oh, you should definitely not buy that house. I'm like, if like there's a multifamily down the street for less money than that single family home you're looking at. So you should put way less down, get a multifamily that you have other people you're renting to, build your equity, that and then let them buy you a house when you have a family later on. And he let the realtor talk him into buying a single family home because she was the listing agent and the selling agent, so she got a double commission.
Those damn realtors.
And now he won't qualify for FHA to buy a multifamily if he
Mhm.
wanted to. So
Yeah, we
No.
were just poor and didn't have a lot of money to put down. So that was what they, but we were also smart enough that we bought like kind of at the bottom of our budget, and we did go outside of a major city just to drop, like, because the house we have here and the condition it was in would have cost us at least 75% more in the big city. So we just stayed out here because we wanted to keep more of our money. And we bought a small house because we wanted toys. We want the camper and the boat. And what's the
Mhm.
point to having a big house if you're never home because you're at the lake every weekend? So
Right.
it seems to work out for us. We haven't gotten the boat. The boat was we were supposed to buy last year. That was supposed to be our big thing last year, but obviously that
You don't need a boat.
fell
That's-
through. The property that we were supposed to buy, that fell through too. Because it's,
Make
it's listed
friends
for
with
twice
someone
as
with
much
a
now.
boat. That's what
Yeah,
Yeah.
always
goal.
had friends with boats.
Friends with boats and horses. Like,
Yeah, I wanted the boat. I wanted the boat. We even had a pontoon picked out and everything that we wanted.
Party
because
barges are badass. Party barges.
Well,
are badass.
our family always goes camping with us and friends and stuff. So it was great. We could all hang out on the boat at the lake during the day. We can cook out on it with a little grill,
Yeah,
or
it's
we
like
could just
picnic on it.
It's great. Yeah, you could spend all day on it. There was no reason to not be on the boat, basically, unless the
Yeah.
weather was bad. But then we'd have we have the campers for that. So it would have worked out really well for us. And we would have had the money to pay for it. Like, it wouldn't have been that big of an expense for us.
Maybe after the apocalypse happens, you'll be able to like scrap one together and make a.
Oh no, we're just
make
gonna
a
take
bunch
one.
of-
Like if
Oh, yeah,
the
you're
shit
just
hits the
gonna find-
fan,
Yeah, all
we go
bets are
pirate
off
one.
then. Yeah,
Yeah.
then things change.
like I said, I have the flag for it already.
Yeah.
So it's
Things change at that point.
On this happy note, I'm gonna go drink some coffee, sober up, and do my taxes because there's no going back.
yeah, and I'm
So-
gonna go cook dinner for people. So it's
All
gonna
right.
So
fall
it was
through.
lovely seeing you all. Thank you so much for having me
Goodbye.
on.
Thanks
This
for
really cheered
joining.
me up today. So thank you guys.
Peace.
Adios.
Ready? Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I gotta make sure I write down everyone who was in here. So
I
what's
should
everyone?
probably go do something, but
Yeah, we can end it here if we want.
no, I don't care. I'm just hanging out.
Me too.
I need to do dishes and clean the guinea pigs.
Yeah, I got a little bit of like domestic shit done before the stream. Like I have to do a little bit. I have to be a little productive.
I've had a
I
really
woke
nice
up feeling
week today.
sick, so I just laid in bed for a while until that
Aw.
went away.
Do you feel better
When-
now?
Yeah, I feel better now, but it's it's pretty par for the course for me. I'm always sick with something. So that's why I was so grumpy this morning on Twitter. I was like, I'm choosing violence today.
I saw that.
Okay, I think I saw that.
What'd I say? Oh, I don't
And
feel
look
good,
at
so
you.
I'm
You're
gonna make it
here
everybody's
not being
problem.
violent at all. You're being this a sweetheart.
Oh, okay. I thought. I'm controlling myself because I want to go full Alex Jones, but I try not to
We can.
because it tends to push people away. So
That's funny. I was thinking
people
about
tend
that
to get
earlier.
scared up with my intensity. At least that's what my mom says, is I scare people away with my intensity.
My mom recently, I was getting like that about something, and she's like, "Stop yelling at me." I was like, "I'm not yelling at you. Like,
I'm
what are
just
you talking
yelling.
about? I'm not yelling at you. Stop saying it like
This
that."
doesn't have anything to do with you, Mom. It has to do with
Well,
globalists.
It's just
yeah,
super
like,
important.
I would be yelling if I was alone in my car. It's not at anybody. It's to you, not at
I'm
you.
just fucking mad. Let me be mad.
Well, it's frustrating. She's like
It is.
sick of that kind of shit, though. My stepdad's pretty into conspiracy theories. Like, ever since I was a little kid, when I was young, he listened to Alex Jones and, like, who's the guy? Michael Savage. He used to listen to that guy all the time, like talk radio. And he's been, like, screaming about all the agendas and everything for years. He thinks that he'll, like, sit down and show you on a map of California, like, this is where all the wildfires are. And it's because they're trying to, like, burn out these specific cities so they can make this thing. Because a few years ago, they tried to pass this wildlife corridor shit and it didn't go through. And so now they're just trying to burn it in anyways. Like, all these eco terrorists, he'll go crazy about it. He, like, sometimes well, he probably thinks it all the time, but he barely ever talks about it. He thinks he has more talents.
Is that the little worms in the blood or whatever?
Yeah, like the threads in the skin. They have like a
That's
little.
such a crazy like hole to go down. That shit is. Anyways, go on.
They have like a little water cooler thing in their bedroom that has special ionized water in it. He goes crazy all the time because when I was a kid, I got Lyme's disease. And he's all about like
You're turning into a gay
talk
frog.
and all the experiments and stuff over there. And he's like, it makes me so mad
turning
when
frogs
into
gay.
you. And it's funny. I mean, it sucks because I believe it too. But yeah, I don't believe he has more talents.
Who knows if it like even
Well,
if it's not actual
that's-
worms, it could be something. It could be some robots
Some kind of
or
build up.
something.
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
I don't know. I know, like, that's the thing is, like, they try to discredit everything, calling it a conspiracy theory. Like, we all know the CIA started that just to try to,
On
hide what they
purpose
did
to
to
discredit
Kennedy.
things. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like, if you who's watched the conspiracy theory iceberg videos from Wendigoon? Has anybody seen those?
I don't think so.
Nobody? Oh my God.
No.
Okay, go to Wendigoon's YouTube channel. He's got this conspiracy. He's got all these iceberg videos, but he goes to like a quick rundown of, because there's hundreds of these theories, and it kind of goes in tiers on like most popular, and like then it kind of goes down. I think there's like 10 levels to this thing, and it goes all the way down to like the really like kind of fucking crazy ones. And they talk about like the hollow moon theory and hollow earth and like all these kind of supernatural things and religious
Just
things.
like in videos or in playlists.
Yeah, it is under playlist. I think it's the one at the very bottom is the conspiracy theory iceberg is what it's called.
It is.
And yeah, there's
Okay.
like 10 of these videos. So it takes you a while to watch them all, but
it sounds like a
it's like
great thing.
some
to
of
do,
them,
like-
like you get kind of further down, you're like, actually, I've heard of that one, but apparently there is some in there that are put in there to like that are fake.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing is, like, the only conspiracy theories I really care about is ones where there's evidence for it. Sometimes it's fun to even try to disprove some of them, because when you do that, you find that you can't disprove it. And
That's how I usually approach it too.
that's kind of a good way to approach it. Yeah. Is try to see if it's fake, like see if you can disprove it. And if you can't, then you're like, holy shit. But I do like the MK Ultra one, because that one's very real. There's a lot of documentation for it. but it's
Yeah,
so
there's
fucked
even a
up
lot of
that people are
recent
just okay.
documentation.
Yeah, that it's just people are okay with the government doing that to its citizens. And I mean, that's not even one of the worst ones, really, when it comes to harming people in mass. So, it's, yeah, I don't know why people still trust them
That's what
with
that
their health or anything.
Majid, or however you say his name, he was saying that. He's like, we all know these things have happened. We know these. He was talking about the CIA fake hepatitis B thing. So he's like, if you know the state would do and has done these things, how could you ever trust them? Like,
Yeah. I know.
Why would you? Why would you say, oh, well, in this instance, of course they care?
Exactly.
Yeah, this
I don't
time.
know.
It's so fucking abusive.
How do people still believe it? I don't.
Oh, God.
They
Just a
want
little
to believe
Sunday
it.
afternoon black pilling. No big deal.
I know. Where's my weed?
It is. No, it will. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you. They're not ever going to take care of you. And if they do, then they're going to end up taking more of your freedoms away. So what are you willing to sacrifice for that? I don't know.
That's really what it comes down to, probably. It's
me.
not that people don't. Well, some people are still ignorant about a lot of these things, but a lot of it is what are you willing to sacrifice? People don't want to give things up. They don't want to give up comfort and security. Like,
well, and you know, they don't want to realize that their entire life is a lie.
right.
It is kind of hard to deal with because once you find out all of this stuff,
I had a freak out. I had an
then you start
actual
thinking
freak
back.
out.
A freak out?
Yeah. When I found out everything was a lie. Oh my God. Yeah. Big time. Well, some people already know about it. For like maybe almost a year, like 6 to 8 months after I really started realizing everything was a lie, would like get drunk in public, like on purpose, at a bar or whatever, at a party with people. I was supposed to be getting drunk there. It wasn't like I was going and drinking alone somewhere and going crazy. But I would start thinking about it too much, and I would be like, but where are the planes? Like taking people about 9/11 because I was freaking out and I just couldn't handle it. And I would sit there and be like, but money is fake, but they don't even have it in the bank. They only have to have 10%. And I would just start like cycling through these things and just thinking about it over and over. And it really broke my brain for like 8 months.
Damn, girl.
Even still, sometimes when I think about it, it's really not. But
we aren't supposed
really
to know all
That's
of
the thing.
this.
Is it is like once you wake up, I guess, it is kind of it's a bit of a burden to bear. Like it's a heavy weight to carry because you know the lengths that governments and people will go to destroy other humans. And I mean, it's like now that you know that, it's like, why does anything I do matter? You know,
it does feel like that.
So you do have to kind of, so you have to figure out basically what you want to live for, essentially, you know. That sounds really dark. I'm sorry. But,
no, it's
you know,
true.
I knew that I had to do something because I have a child that depends on me. And I'm never going to let him starve. Like I always, like my husband's job can be shelter, which I can also provide that if I had to. He's just better at it than I am. But you know, I always tell my child, because that's something else, is what do we tell our kids right now? You know, because you can't pretend like everything is normal, because it absolutely fucking is not. And so it's also, you know, trying to walk that fine line of kind of letting them know that the world's a little fucky and not completely destroying their childhood either. Like I've had to tell my son, you know, I told him, he's like, well, why won't you tell me what's going on? And I have to tell him sometimes you're just not old enough to know. Like it's not that, because I told him, I said, I'll never lie to you because I really don't like liars. That's just something that is just one of my personal beliefs, that I won't lie to my child, with the exception of like Christmas, because I'm not going to destroy all the magic in his life. I'm not a total asshole, just a little bit of one. And
No.
I said, sometimes I just don't think you're old enough yet, but I will tell you when you are. I feel like you are old enough to handle it. So he knows that money does not go as far as it used to. He knows that, that the mask is a means of control. Like, he was the one that chose to be homeschooled. I asked him half a dozen times in 4 days. Like, I was trying to talk him out of it. Not because I didn't want to, I just really wanted him to think, because he's 7, so what would you think he would care about? School parties and recess? No, I told him that. I said, you're not gonna have school parties anymore. You won't get recess anymore. You don't get to see your friends anymore. During school hours. I was like, we can arrange times other times, but he hasn't even asked to see his friends. Like, he's like, I know, I don't want to. I want to homeschool. He said, I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, he was that against wearing the mask and things like that. And so, we got to tell our kids something. We can't just have it hit them like, I don't want to have an incident like what happened with D, is like where it hits you like a fucking ton of bricks, and then it takes you months and months to kind of work it out,
Yeah.
in your head. Because
Well,
when
it's hard.
when the shit really does hit the fan and kids find out, we're gonna need them functioning. Like, they're gonna, like, that's what it's gonna be really bad, and we're really gonna need them to focus and function. And if they're still trying to process all of that, then it's going to put us all in kind of a more dangerous situation, I think. Were you saying something, Dees? I'm sorry.
I was just thinking, like, I think it was probably extra hard for me because most of my high school, I went to Christian school, and 9/11 happened when I was a senior in high school. So it was very much like a God and country kind of time of my life right before 9/11 happened. And then it was like so many people that I knew that I graduated with or that were a year younger or a year older than me ended up going to war and stuff. So then it was like when I'm 20 or 21 years old, maybe I was 22, I guess. So not that long later, just having all this shit hit me like, wow, that was all fucking fake. Like, my friends died for no reason. Wow, my school taught me all this shit that was lies. Like, what the fuck is this? And it was really hard. It was
I
crazy.
didn't know you were only
I guess everybody's
Yeah, that's the
teaches
problem,
them
is how do
bullshit,
you
but
sort
like,
out
We all start talking together.
the last ever history, like, because we all know it's written by the victors kind of thing. So how do we sort out what's real and what's fake that we've been told our entire lives? It's kind of, it can
it's
create
really
an
hard to
existential
know.
crisis in you if you don't get
Yeah.
get a grip on it, I guess.
I've stopped paying attention to a lot of different types of news over the last couple of months. And I feel like it kind of happened naturally because I was getting anxious about the news, and then I sort of had a moment like that, like, I don't even know what the fuck is true. So why is it stressing me out? So instead now I'm just like, okay, here's what this says. Like, that's what it says. I don't
Right.
fucking know.
Mhm.
I can't verify it. It
Take
doesn't matter
it with a
if I
grain of
knew the
salt.
truth
That's
or
what it
not.
says.
So that's what it says.
Yeah.
And I've also just stopped ignoring a lot of types of news because it's irrelevant. Like,
It
really
is, and it's
doesn't
almost
matter.
like that's magic spells. Half the stuff they repeat
Oh,
and
it totally
stuff,
is.
And then everyone, even on the negative, people will share
Nations
things
or
in the
something.
negative. Like, we're all guilty of it, and it's like that helps spread the words, the spell or whatever.
Yeah,
that's a little
and it's all
wooey.
programming.
Yeah.
Well, and we have never consumed so much media in our lives. And I don't think, and it happens so fast. I don't think we've been able to even like adjust our brains to handle,
Yeah.
the absorption of all of it, because it's coming at you from all different directions. And it's, I don't know, there's just so much news and none of it's good anymore.
That's why I cut the cable back in 15, and I haven't looked back since. Screw all news organizations. Just live your life, find good in what you see, and stop listening to other people tell you everything's bad.
Did you guys see that NPR article that's like, oh, coping with the war in Ukraine is going to be really hard, and this can be anxious time. So here are some ways to cope.
Oh,
It's like,
I did
and
see
it's like
something
they're
about
up here.
that.
They're the ones who are going to be scaring them. Like they're the
Yeah.
ones scared. Like that's so insidious and just
That's
like
synergy, right? Like they're selling the fear and the relief.
Well, that's
so
what
terrible.
COVID was too, right? Sell the
Yeah.
virus, make the virus, the bombs and advantages always. So have both sides.
Well, and I mean, how fucking self-centered. I mean, we're creating victims when there doesn't need to be a victim.
Narcissist.
You
Yeah,
know,
why are you having a
well,
hard
exactly.
time about
Yeah, and like
Ukraine, when you don't live there, you don't know anybody there. You don't even know where it is on a fucking map. Why are you letting it affect you so
Because
much?
we have a society of
that you
narcissistic virtue signalers.
Because you need to implement coping strategies for something that happened on the other side of the world.
Yeah,
Like, Jesus, these people are so weak. I can't with the weak people anymore that blame everything on everybody else and blame everything on Trump.
yeah.
I'm tired of hearing his name. I don't like the guy. And if he runs again, I swear to God, like he's like, we all know that the elections are a fucking joke, but like not helping anybody if he tries to run again. He would be much better off if he just backed somebody that was younger and had a real big drive to change things.
Elon Musk is the president
I mean,
we
he
can't
would
have.
do better, but he doesn't care. He's so narcissistic that he's like, I'm going to run again. And
that's a pretty good impression.
oh, thank you. So,
Hex, wait,
done
were you
with
gonna
my
say
rant now.
something a minute ago, Hex?
Nah.
You've been so loud all this whole time. You and me, we're just absorbing it in.
I have been loud. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm content with you continuing to
But if
go
I get
off.
interrupted, then I forget what I was going to say, and then I have no rebuttals. So I just need to get it out, and then I'll shut up for a while.
That's
I work best that
effective way
So-
of communicating. You're getting the point across.
Well, I'll forget.
What the fuck is
yeah.
return?
What was that?
It's gonna freeze again tonight, Jesus.
Where you're at?
Yeah.
Is it going to freeze?
Getting close enough. I can't put my plants out.
I will be right back.
All right.
Well, it's cold as shit in this basement. I know that much.
You need a little space heater down there.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I do, but it's such a, I mean, it's just all concrete, you know, like we don't even really have walls down here much
Do you think
anymore.
it's real,
we
Mike?
had some flooding.
Like, is it? I was seeing other people talking about Putin. He just brought up something about Putin. I'm like, is it? Just like we were saying with, like Dee was just saying. It's like I read it and it's like, okay, like, is it all real? Is it true?
Yeah, you don't know.
Well, and nothing's surprising anymore either. I mean, when you look at even like the shit posts and stuff online, like shit posts have truly numbed us to any sort of news from the other side, because even if it's like the most ridiculous fucking thing you could think of, somebody else
There's
has
a real
probably
person
said
that
something
said that.
similar and they were absolutely serious.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like the wonder and the mystery of life is, I kind of feel like, has been taken away from me too, because nothing is surprising ever.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's been a couple of years since I was sure if something was real or fake. That's crazy.
Like a whole, like a machine could come out of the ground in Paris tomorrow and eat the fucking Eiffel Tower.
Please do, that'd be exciting.
Wouldn't be surprised about it. Like, it's so fucking sad that I don't get excited about anything anymore, because it's, yeah, I'm sure that will happen because this timeline is so fucked up.
I think
Like,
the world ended, we're all in purgatory. Like a world-ending asteroid came and just destroyed the planet, and we're all in purgatory. The simulation is at least way upside down, so who knows?
When did it start? When was the last real day?
All right, I'm back, and I see Forest Mommy is gone as well.
think she had someone show up at the door.
She had what?
She had someone show up at the door. I heard a doorbell.
Oh. Well, I just learned that my barrel gas blocking gas tube for my new AR arrived today.
Nice.
Yay! On a Sunday, even?
I know. That's why I'm surprised.
I don't know. I'm getting hungry though. I haven't eaten today, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
me
I should
too.
probably go get something to eat.
yeah.
Well, I'm
we
high
can-
and I'm hungry, and like I like talking to you guys, but I'm not
Hey,
We're going
you gotta
over
eat.
3 hours. Yeah.
I'll eat.
I just got
I
a
just-
waffle maker yesterday, so I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna make waffles.
Ooh, exciting.
I
My
love
old waffle
waffles.
maker was shitty. It was making like flappity ass waffles. So I got one that has 5 temperatures.
Ooh, it's heavy.
I want a like sturdy waffle. You know?
A dirty
What?
waffle?
No, sturdy.
Oh, sturdy. I'm like, what's a
blue
dirty
I
waffle?
like
waffle?
I like all the little cups to be full of
Is that a
butter and
sex position?
syrup.
Dirty waffle?
No,
Dirty waffle.
It would be a sex position.
I'm okay with the dirty waffle. No.
I don't know, like when you put syrup and butter on her asshole or something. And, I don't
You
know.
fill it up with syrup and butter.
That's my fetish.
There you go, right
Yeah,
there.
there you
That's
go.
it.
Ew, wait, never mind. Never mind.
What
Yeah,
I thought of what
there
it
we
could
go.
be.
Oh Lord.
Well, because if
Um,
you have to have syrup and butter, then that would be like both, right? Like if they feed and it would be like
You're cutting up a bit, D.
I want waffles.
that's for the
Like-
best.
All right, guys.
Alright.
Well, I'll get out of here so you
Yeah.
guys can talk about
Actually,
me
I
after
just had food
leave.
delivered.
Oh,
Yeah,
so we're
I'll
done?
probably call it here. Oh yeah, I'll call it here for now, but I might pop back on later. But I really got to eat something too.
Yeah,
Okay.
my
Alright.
stomach's been eating itself.
Okay.
It's cool.
Everyone take your dinner break.
Bye.
All right, bye everybody.
Okay,
Thanks for
bye.
everyone watching. Bye.